Owned dealership has a non-commissioned sales team whose only focus is to find you the right vehicle at the right price without the pressure. So you'll actually have a fun car buying experience. Great prices, easy financing, and a non-commissioned sales team. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone on this Thursday. Titans were back on the practice field yesterday. They will do so again today as they work their way back from the bye. We have Cam Ward audio for you, and we will hear from the starting quarterback here in just a second as they attempt to score a point against Houston this year. They were unsuccessful in doing so in Week 4, the last time these two teams met. We will see if they can make any difference between that game and this upcoming game at Nissan Stadium. 615-737-1045, the number. If you want to jump in, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where you can interact with the F&M Bank Chat. Good morning, boys.
Good morning. A good news, bad news injury report. Arden Key, Calvin Ridley back in the fold. Jeffrey Simmons, not.
Not yet, at the very least. So, yes, the injury report did come out yesterday. We told you as we were working our way through the show that Mike McCoy said that Calvin Ridley and Arden Key would return to practice, but Jeffrey Simmons is still out, not even limited, with a hamstring injury, as is Xavier Woods, the starting safety. Maybe you guys talked about Quandre Diggs getting released last week?
I think it happened over the weekend, didn't it?
Maybe so. I don't remember. But Quandre Diggs did end up getting released by this team. Cam Ward was asked about it because they're cousins, for people who didn't know that. Mm-hmm. And Cam almost made it sound like it was Quandre's decision at the podium yesterday, which I thought was interesting. Nobody followed up about it necessarily. But either way.
He said on the conversation he had with Quandre, just good luck. He's going to be watching me every Sunday if he's not at the games. But then just being able to play football with the family member, not a lot of people get a chance to do. But I think he made the decision that was best for him.
Yeah, that's the part that caught my attention.
I'm always going to support him. I know he's always going to support me.
Bryce on YouTube says, let's use the whole show to talk IU basketball. I will if you let me. I will try my best not to, but I'm very excited because my team beat up on a Horizon League team yesterday. They make threes, and I'm very excited about that. Tennessee scored damn near 100 points yesterday, 99 over the mighty Norse.
No.
Who did they play?
Ospreys of North Florida.
I did not watch the Tennessee game. Poor Robert. I held him hostage last night because Indiana played Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I said, I will not start primetime until I at least get to watch a half of my basketball team.
Go ahead and tell them all your stats about how you guys made like one three-pointer all last year, and now you're making three-pointers really good now. I had to hear all of this.
Wait.
Tell them all your stats.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to be excited about sports or not?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited
because I get to be a sports fan that's excited for once in my life, and now it's too much for you too.
No, it's not too much. It's the only thing that I've ever seen you give a rip about.
I only care about that basketball.
Okay, so tell us your stats. Tell us your three-point.
I'm not going to do it. I'm just happy that they make three-pointers, that they attempt three-pointers now, because Mike Woodson's dusty ass, I'd fire him again if I could.
Yeah, I'd hear this too. That's why they got rid of the whole team. They brought a whole new team in.
Okay, but seriously, like, how often are we going to see this now in college basketball? I don't know where else this is being done. Lucas, they got rid of 13 players off that roster last year. There's not a single player. The Indiana did not return a point from last year's team. 10 players through the transfer portal. Only one freshman that is on scholarship for that basketball team. I don't know how common that's going to be in just college basketball generally, where we have the portal and NIL, but I love that you can just completely sweep a bad thing out and replace it with an entirely new thing. And so far, I'm excited about the new thing.
There you go. Vanderbilt also scoring 90-plus yesterday.
Who'd Vandy play?
In a win over Eastern Kentucky.
Okay, very good.
And tonight you got Tennessee women's basketball facing Belmont women's basketball.
How do we feel about the Lady Vols this year?
Good. Number 12 team in the country. Dropped a heartbreaker to open against NC State. But very talented basketball team. So we'll see what their ceiling is under Kim Caldwell.
You know what's shocking to me? I'm sure you two didn't talk about the fact that John Morant may get traded last week while I was gone.
It actually came up. Somebody submitted Ja maybe for the dumbest thing in sports or something.
That's right.
Alerted us to the latest situation between he and the Grizzlies.
They are so bad, the Grizzlies. And they're not like Pacers bad. That's the thing that breaks my heart. The Pacers have won one game this year after being in the NBA Finals last year, and it's terrible. But the Grizzlies are awful, and Jaren Jackson Jr. has apparently just lost the ability to be a competent basketball player on a night-in, night-out basis. John Morant seems like basketball A.J. Brown. You know, without A.J. having gun incidents or strip club incidents in his past. Did you see AJ yesterday? They're going up to him in the locker room in Philadelphia asking him if he regretted saying what he did on that Twitch stream, and he literally just said, no, I don't apologize. Maybe it's just the weird connection between Tennessee and Philadelphia that makes me curious about how that's going to play out, and also he's on a 7-2 football team. Who do the Eagles play this weekend? There's a lot of really good NFL games this weekend.
Oh, we talked about it. They play the Seahawks. Big game in the NFC.
No, the Rams play the Seahawks.
They play the Lions.
Play the Lions. Big game in the NFC.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah,
come on, Buck.
Sunday Night Football.
Distracted by his Indiana basketball team.
Thanks for listening to the show.
God.
Don't turn
you think you know a
What's
guy.
on your screen? What's on your screen right now that you're locked in on?
NFL Jesus.
Okay, sure. What's on his screen, Robert? What kind of food?
Go to that other window you had up. What are you Googling? He's looking up where to get a hot dog. He's looking at hot dog pictures.
You know what?
I knew I saw a hot dog on your daggum screen.
Is he looking at hot dog pictures or is he looking at hot dog pictures?
He's looking at ones that got mustard on them. What do you do?
You remember that time that he upsold us on this East Nashville hot dog place he took us, and it was the worst hot dog I've ever had in my
Don't
life?
get me started. I got a terrible milkshake from there. It was awful.
It was so bad.
No.
And it's so bizarre because
You also got a brat, all right? You didn't get a dog.
I think brats are superior. In
brats
hot
are
dogs.
fine,
superior.
but you
If
didn't
you
go to
can't
a
do a
brat place.
bratwurst right,
Oh, come
how
on.
are you going to?
You're drawing lines in the sand, Lucas.
No, I go for the dogs.
Come on. Oh, I'm going to cut that. Wait till y'all play Georgia next year. I go for the dogs. I go for the dogs.
It's just,
taking the dog.
it's one of these things where, like, I'm scrolling mindlessly through my Instagram stories last night, and I see Lucas is making pasta because that's the only thing he posts on social media. And I'm laughing because I remember him telling me, because I tried to make pasta this week, and it ended up turning out good, but it's, in his opinion, too much sauce.
Way
Too
too
saucy.
much. You just dumped it on there.
But I don't eat pasta for pasta. I eat pasta for the sauce. Like, I like sauce. I like seasoning. I like flavoring. And Lucas is there with just like a little bit of Parmesan over some pasta and calling it a masterpiece.
I'm always upset that you don't ever eat it on camera. Like, I want to see you eat it. You always just put up, hey, here's a picture of it in the plate. Oh,
Yeah,
look
do like Portnoy. Do your pasta review. One bite. Everybody knows the
review my own
rules.
pasta. 10 out of 10 every time. At Lucas Panzica on Instagram. If I get 500 followers in the next 5 minutes, I will eat pasta on camera every day for the next 2 months.
I imagine that while you're cooking it,
Every day for the next 2 months.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah,
500 followers in the next. You have until 10:15.
No, do it till the end of the show.
No,
at least.
10, no,
till
5
1
minutes.
o'clock. 1 o'clock, you got it. I'll extend it. I imagine that while you're cooking, you sound like Randy Marsh on that episode where he's becomes a food critic. He's like, "Oh yeah, great.
It's like borderline sensual.
Got a nice brick of Parmesan. I'm gonna shred all over this pasta. Oh, goopy.
Some red wine, about a quarter cup.
Oh, get that creme fraiche." You want to go? Oh yeah, I'm gonna deglaze the hell out of that plan.
So that concludes our Titans-Texans talk for the week. I mean, seriously, if you're not going to let me talk about my basketball team, I don't know what else to do for 3 hours today. I went over there yesterday after practice, and yeah, Calvin Ridley's back, but he looks miserable, and he's saying all the right things, God bless him, about, he's just telling the young guys, go out there and have fun. And every part of me wanted to look at him and be like, Calvin, are you having fun? Like, come on, man. Like, and it's the right thing to say. Like, I'm not criticizing him for that at all. I'm just 8 weeks of this is going to be interesting.
Oh, I got 3. Oh, I got 4 followers. We have 4. Oh, 5, 6. Okay.
Okay, hold
Momentum,
on now.
3
Hold on.
minutes.
If people are listening like that,
You
let me
have
figure out
3
what
to
my name
4
is.
minutes.
How do you not know what your social media handles are?
It's Robbie, ROBBY _Walsh. And if I get 5 followers by 10:15,
You'll get naked on Instagram
I will
Live.
get naked on Instagram Live. No, that's not true. People are going to start unfollowing me now. Don't say that. If you guys can get me to 1,000 followers by the end of the year,
How many
I
do you
will.
have? You don't have 1,000 followers? We're on for 3 hours a day, for God's sakes.
Don't follow shame me. I have 908. I need 92 followers.
He cares about the important things.
Yeah,
in life.
come on, dude. Everything I've posted in the last 2 calendar years have been things you have collaborated with me. I haven't posted.
I'm literally doing the work for you.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody go follow me so I can be self-sufficient, Robbie _Walsh. And if I get those followers, I will. What did you say you do, Lucas?
Eat my pasta that I make on camera every day for 2 months.
I will eat Lucas's pasta that he makes on camera every day for 2 months. Make it happen, guys.
So no thoughts on the Titans and the Texans, huh?
Titans are probably going to be in a lot of 12 personnel.
J.C. Latham facing the Texans for the first time. Remember, he was out. I believe Oli Udoh got the start at right tackle.
They were not bad in that game, like as an offensive line unit. I know nobody cares about that when you lose 26-0, but
Latham facing his former teammate and Will Anderson, I feel like as much as we're going to talk about this second half of the season for Cam Ward, this feels like a pretty important second half of the season for J.C. Latham. Like, all right, the injury is in the rear view at this point, slow out of the gates in his return from injury. You've had the bye week now. I think people need to see Latham settle into the position that was thought to be more of a comfortable, natural place for him at right tackle for the rest of the year.
He's been objectively bad.
In pass pro, I think it's been an issue.
But they don't, and maybe they don't run the ball enough for us to see J.C. Latham be like a true, road grader out there.
He's graded out well in the run game, PFF metrics, and all of these things.
But there's
yeah.
games where they've got like 12 rushing attempts. That's the season low for sure, but they don't run the football that way. And so often they get down by 2 scores that it negates the ability to run the football. Although I don't know how much I buy that as an excuse. Because I'm watching this Bucs-Patriots game on Sunday, and the Bucs are trailing by a considerable margin. They end up making it a 1-score loss, and they end up losing. So maybe it's just a touchdown at the end that makes the result look closer than it is. But there's something to be said about how quickly the Titans give up on running the football and how often they're putting it into Cam Ward's hands. Now, we talked about this yesterday within the context of Mariota and Cam. Their attempts are pretty much even. And I was honestly surprised by that because I just feel like Cam is having to drop back so much in these games, especially against the kind of pass rushes that he's facing or pass rushers that he's facing. And we did talk I wasn't over there when Dan Moore spoke to media. I was talking to JC or as a part of JC's scrum. But J.C. Latham correctly said, who's a better pass rush tandem? Question for the room. Who's a better pass rush tandem than Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson right now? And that's just their starting 2. Like, their defense is gnarly at every level. Over under the number of times the Titans crossed the 50 on Sunday.
What do Nick Bonito and Zach Allen's numbers look like in tandem this year?
I bet
the Broncos have the best defense in the league, but yes.
Well, not scoring defense. That's the Texans. And it's also because they have a 26-0 shutout against the Titans.
But I don't know. There are a lot of metrics, some things the Broncos are doing right now that hasn't happened in the NFL in decades, especially in terms of affecting the quarterback.
I'll give you another stat that it surprised me when I saw it. The Texans have the 16th ranked offensive line right now. That's a huge step for them. I thought they were widely thought of as the worst offensive line in the league, and they have made a massive jump. So switching some guys out, moving Ariante Ursary to left tackle after shipping Laramie Tunsil off. They got Juice Scruggs playing a little bit of left guard with somebody else filling in. Their offensive line is competent. Maybe, dare I say, average? That's a huge step for a Texans team. Yeah,
sure.
Huge step.
Well, that's why Davis Mills looks so good. Like, Davis Mills is fine. He's not, I don't think that anybody would pay Davis Mills to be a starter. But you guys, was it Diana that came on here a couple of weeks ago and talked about the idea that teams were calling the Texans about trading for Davis Mills as a backup and that they were holding firm on the idea of not moving him? And you may say Davis Mills, draft next, scoff at that. But when well protected, he put up 26 points in the fourth quarter against a Jags defense that's not awful. Now, they also, Robert, and I wonder how much this, because you try not to assign too much season-long value to a one-game sample size, but that was one of my bigger takeaways from that Texans-Jags game is the Jags could not get a rush on Davis Mills, and I didn't know if that was because the Texans' offensive line was doing their job at a reasonably high level or the Jags were falling short relative to expectation because they have struggled to get pressure a couple of times this season. Look at that. We got the football.
And look at that. I got like 20 follower requests. We should do this to start the show.
Oh, that's why you're private.
Should I not be private?
No. Well, I don't know. What are you hiding?
I think I deleted anything problematic before I got this job. A bunch of me flicking off the camera, a bunch of me in college, and then nothing. Just a dead zone.
And the things that I do for you, the two of you, to post on your own accounts.
Well, I like that you do the work for me.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Ross does the work. You think I'm posting on the Instagram at this point? No.
It's a nice change of pace for me generally doing all the work for you.
What are we doing next?
Playing Greg Cosell.
While you're doing work.
With the install.
So let's let Greg work for all of us and play a little bit of the install with Greg Cosell coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So, there is some football discussion to be had about what else Cam Ward can accomplish. And he'll do so against, or at least try to do so, against one of the best defenses in football, the Houston Texans, coming to town. Now, their injury report is also littered with several key starters that will miss some time. But the thing that stands out about them, of course, is that defense. So Greg Cosell and I do a podcast. It's called The Install. We tape it every Thursday morning. Robert, it is available via the podcast now?
It is available via podcast. It will be available via YouTube if you'd love to look at Greg's smiling face momentarily.
Greg's laugh is one of my favorite laughs in all of humankind.
It's genuine because that guy, I don't feel like that guy has a lot of laughs often, but when he does laugh, it gives you a little something.
Like if Greg laughs at something dumb that I've said, I feel like I've earned that laugh. It's very rewarding that way. So either way, it will be on YouTube for you to watch the full episode in its entirety later this afternoon. But in the meantime, we thought we'd play you a snippet right now. Welcome into the Install with Greg Cosell of NFL Films. I took a week off. Greg did not, of course, and so I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of things, Greg. And I'm not sure what
I don't get a bye week, Buck. Unfortunately, I don't get a bye week.
I don't know if I deserve one as much as I think I do in my head, but I needed the standby week, Greg. I just had to come up for air at some point. But it's good to be able to see what we can learn about the rest of the season. And there's still plenty of good football games out there, meaningful football games to be played. We're now getting more of a picture of what the postseason could look like, of course. And, there's always things that are happening. Things change weekly, daily in the NFL at this point, including coaches, which we'll talk about at some point.
Sure.
Later in this podcast. But as we come back from the bye for the Titans, Greg, Cam Ward is obviously the thing that we have talked about weekly, even if their games have,
Sure.
fallen out of playoff contention by any stretch of the imagination. What are you looking to see Cam continue to improve on in season, understanding that like the footwork and a lot of the stuff that he's going to need to drill down on is really more of an off-season thing?
But that's really where he is right now. Because I think that, and I'm never surprised when rookie quarterbacks or inexperienced quarterbacks show some flaws in their game. And I think people, at times think, oh, that means you're saying the guy stinks. No. This is a process. And I think that's where it starts with him. I think he still at times plays to the tempo of college football. He needs to be much quicker with his drop and his set. If you speak to any quarterback coach, they'll tell you that you have to get your you-know-what back into the pocket, plant your back foot, and be ready to deliver. Because milliseconds in the NFL mean a lot. And in college football, and as guys grow up playing the position, everything is shotgun. There's not really quarterback drops in a strict sense, the way we think of it in the NFL. And everything is a little more leisurely paced. And that's the way guys are brought up with all the 7-on-7s, with just the way kids are brought up playing quarterback now. And in the NFL, that doesn't really fly. You've got to get back there, not so much to create more distance from the rush, but to maintain the timing of the drop with the routes. You have to be ready to deliver the football. And I think that's where he probably needs his most work. Now, maybe that can't be done during the season. Maybe that is an off-season project. But that's number one, because if you don't do that, you're always going to have some problems. And it's funny how problems always seem to creep up in the most inopportune moments in critical situations. That's always the way it works, right? I mean, you don't think, I was always surprised when I hear people say, just to make a baseball analogy, when people would say, a player is clutch, like, well, Derek Jeter was clutch. But then if you look at his numbers, he did the same thing in innings 1 through 3 and 4 through 6 as he did in innings 7 through 9. It's just we equate more importance to innings 7 through 9. Tom Brady did the same thing in quarters 1, 2, and 3 as he did in quarter 4, but we just decided that quarter 4, for whatever reason, and with some merit, is more important than quarter 1. But it is and it isn't. Like, I would bet if Tom Brady was here listening, he'd say, well, no, quarter 1's just as important. I don't want to be bad in quarter 1, so it's about doing it right all the time, so it becomes second nature. And that's really what he needs to work on.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that athletes talk about all the time, Greg. It's consistency over the word clutch, right? But
Right,
consistency as a word is not as sexy or as,
right.
exciting as the clutch gene or all the things that we try to assign and ignore the
Right.
all the minutia, all the detail, all the granular stuff that sets these players up to be able to capitalize in the most important moments.
Well, it's funny because, I've been asked a lot about Bo Nix and even Caleb Williams this week. And I guarantee that when Sean Payton or Ben Johnson, you know, they have their meetings on Monday, after the game and they go through all the plays because that's what coaches do. Ben Johnson's not ignoring the first 55 minutes of the game. Sean Payton's not ignoring the first three quarters when he goes over things. Yeah, it's great that they made some plays in the fourth quarter, and obviously it's about the W. And if you get the W, hey, that's what it's all about. But as far as coaches, and you know this, you've been around enough coaches now, you know, they, they don't think like that. Yeah, they're thrilled with the W, no question, but they're thinking, okay, let's do it the right way all the time. I mean, I used to hear Tom Brady talk all the time about repetitive mechanics. That's why in the offseason he'd go see his coach, Tom Martinez, who unfortunately passed away a number of years ago. But I mean, that's why Joe Montana, after his first year in Kansas City, called up Bill Walsh, who was no longer his coach. And I think Bill Walsh was not coaching in the NFL, obviously, at the time, and said, Coach, can I come see you? I felt like my mechanics this year weren't where they needed to be. The great ones understand that it's about doing it the right way every time. And that's where you're trying to get Cam Ward, no matter who the coach is going to be next year.
Well, it will be difficult to do that against the Houston Texans defense.
Oh boy, oh boy.
They are,
Why are we laughing? Why are we laughing?
because it's just, Greg, anything that they can do against this defense would be an improvement from the last time that these two teams played. And listen, maybe it wasn't as lopsided as 26-0. There were some things at the end of the game that blew it open the last time the Titans
Sure.
and the Texans played.
Yeah.
But as you watch this Texans defense, Greg, it's almost hard not to laugh because they are so impressive at every level. And we'll see if
They
Jalen
are.
Petrie is back this week. They had three players, including CJ Stroud, in the concussion protocol. But for the
Yeah.
purposes of the matchup, Cam Ward and the Titans offense, who may get Calvin Ridley back, we'll see. And whether or not that makes an appreciable difference, I
Yeah.
couldn't possibly say.
Yeah.
But this is at every level of this Texans defense, they are winning, and it starts up front with that pass rush.
Yeah, I mean, I watch their tape and Hunter and Anderson, they are just really, really difficult to block. And so what teams end up doing, and the Titans will have to do this in pure pass situations and on third down, is they're going to have to chip, they're going to have to keep someone in. I mean, Moore and just being honest, based on tape, Moore and Latham will not block them consistently one-on-one on deeper drops. That won't happen. So, now it changes the way you play offense because obviously you have no pass game if you can't protect. So protection is always number one. But they're really good over the last month, 5 weeks. What week did they play the first time? Do you remember?
Oh, I want to say it was week 4, but I'll confirm for
Yeah.
you.
No, no, that's fine. It was early in the season, but I'm saying over the last month, give or take, they've really gotten a player who I loved last year in Indianapolis, playing much more EJ speed, and
Hmm.
he's now playing way more snaps, and he is really athletic. I was actually surprised when Indy decided pretty much to let him walk, and then when he signed with Houston, I thought, oh, that's an interesting signing because they have Alshire and To'o, but you just can't keep this kid off the field. He's really a good football player. So he and Toto at times rotate when they play base 4-3, he's on the field. And he just brings speed. And when you watch their tape, putting aside how good Hunter and Anderson are, they just play fast.
Yeah.
You just watch them and these guys are fast, they're competitive, they fly to the football, they've got two really good corners, and Lassiter gives them tremendous versatility because we saw last week that who got hurt last week? Well, Stewart got hurt. They were playing with Bryant as their slot, and then Stewart got hurt, and they had to move Bryant to safety, and then Lassiter just moves right inside seamlessly, and they played Smith outside. It seemed to have no effect whatsoever on their defense. you know, because Lassiter, everybody speaks about Stingley, deservedly so, but Lassiter is a really good player, and he's super physical and competitive for a corner, and for not a big corner either, but just the way he plays. So you're right, they're really good at all three levels. They're not a high percentage blitz defense, but they don't have to be. But their stunt games are really good. And like you said, and you're 100% right. You talk about Hunter and Anderson, those, you know, without going through the list of every edge pass rush duo in the league, they're certainly right near the top.
Yeah, I mean that's what we were talking to J.C. Latham and Dan Moore in the locker room yesterday about. It's tough to name a tandem of guys on the outside doing it better than those two right now. And Greg, I mean, to your point about Lassiter, like it was one of those rich get richer moments when they ended up landing him out of Georgia. It's like they don't need this guy. Let somebody else who needs some cornerback depth.
Well, you know, it's so funny how that's because
Lassiter.
I remember, you know, Kamari Lassiter doing him coming out, you know, evaluating him, and because he wasn't big, you know, I think he was a second round pick, not a first round pick, as I recall, right?
Yes.
I believe he was a second round pick. You know, and there are a lot of people who thought, well, the size, you know, can he play outside? Does he have to play the slot? You know, normal discussions. You know, it doesn't mean people are wrong. These are normal discussions people have, as they should. That's what scouting and evaluating is all about. But he has proven that he can play on the outside with no problem at all. But he gives them that versatility. Even last year, there were games last year as a rookie where they did move him inside. So he has that versatility to do that if need be.
Yes. Now, on the other side of the ball for Houston, their offense has been a struggle, and we don't have to spend too terribly much time on it, Greg, but the difference this week, and I mean, basically for this entire game against the Jags, they scored 26 points in the fourth quarter with Davis Mills.
I know. I mean, was that the weirdest game of last Sunday? I mean,
of last week for sure. I would argue it's the second weirdest game of the season after that Giants Broncos game where the Broncos did something similar in the fourth quarter.
You mean you didn't have Davis Mills putting up 26 in the fourth quarter on your bingo card?
No, I sure didn't. I've seen plenty of Davis Mills in my life at this point, and I don't think I've quite seen him do that. And he wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
It's funny because I'm very familiar with Davis Mills. He came out of the Atlanta, Georgia area, as you may know, and he committed to Stanford very, very early, and therefore the SEC teams laid off him. But he was the number one high school quarterback coming out of high school, number one recruited player. And, you know, the SEC schools laid off because he made it very clear, I'm going to Stanford. And obviously, you know, given that in the NFL, he's turned out to be a backup. But he's a serviceable guy. I mean, you can line up and play with Davis Mills. You know, obviously he's not a starter and he's not going to start there. You know, who knows what his future holds, although I doubt anybody would sign him and say, you're my starter. But you can line up and play with Davis Mills. He throws the ball well. He's a big kid. I think he's probably just a beat slow with his decision making and his processing, and that's one reason why he's truly not a starter, because he can throw it now. I mean, it's not like he's, you know, one of those smaller guys. It's not like he's in the Case Keenum, Taylor Heineke world, guys who are really good backups, but obviously just don't have the physical traits that you're ideally looking for. He's got the physical traits, but he just, I think, I don't think he sees it, you know, the way you need to see it overall.
Well, and the difference in that specific game, Greg, and I don't know how that'll apply to what the Titans may or may not be able to do. We'll see who they even have available on defense for Sunday. At this point, Jeff Simmons did not practice yesterday, and Arden Key did return, but Arden's not necessarily been an impact player. Davis Mills was very well protected in this game against the Jaguars. I don't know if that was on the Jags' inability to get home with the pressure, or if it just in a one-game sample size that Texans offensive line stepped up a little bit.
And he's the kind of quarterback that if he is protected, he can sit there and throw the football. So, you know, who knows what the pass rush will be for the Titans. You know, we were joking around that Denard Wilson is just trying to stitch this together. And it's, you know, look, this is what coaches do. Okay. I mean, this is what they sign up for. Every year is different. This is a crazy year for the Titans. It's obviously, in an ideal world, it's a transition year and they're better next year. But right now, nothing is going to dramatically change this Sunday. You know, he's going to line up with who he has. You know, the old expression, you got to dance with the girl who brung you, and you just got to go do it. And, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, they obviously have pretty good skilled players on the outside. I mean, Nico Collins is a tough cover. The tight end Schultz is actually a pretty good tight end as far as receiving. And the two rookies have, they're pretty solid players. I think they're going to be good players, Higgins and Knoll. So, we'll see how it all plays out. But, they are limited, the Titans, in the personnel that they're going to put out there.
Yeah, as we say here in the South of Denard Wilson, bless his heart. He's just he's in a tough spot
Right.
at this
Right.
point in time.
Right.
Now, so that is a portion of the install with Greg Cosell of NFL Films. There's some really good analysis of a lot of important Week 11 games and some continued discussion about Cam Ward and what he can try to accomplish against a really, really good Texans defense. So we have a little bit of college football news that is worth talking about, apparently having to do with the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. How would you tease this news?
Well, now multiple members of the College Football Playoff Committee have left the College Football Playoff Committee. It is smaller, and one sitting athletic director leaves mired in allegations.
All right, find out next. Erectile dysfunction can wreck your confidence. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But the good news is that there's real help. Since 2014, the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of guys get back to feeling like themselves. These aren't cookie-cutter treatments that they offer. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Too many guys rely on pills that don't work or come with nasty side effects. There are better treatments that are out there, and sometimes it's a combination of those treatments that finally unlock the results that you've been missing. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, we do have a little bit of college football playoff selection committee news to get to here in just a second that Lucas previously teased. I don't know if it's quite on the verge of scandal, but at least there are allegations that will be addressed here in just a second. But the more surprising news is the two of you were talking about the fact that I was gone for an entire week and you did not order lunch once.
Not
which
once.
makes me think that the only reason that you get away with eating lunch as often as you do during the show is because I'm the one driving.
Hold on a second.
That was very sudden.
You might be onto something.
Mm-hmm.
I just
It's
think,
unbelievable.
no, I don't think it's anything about
What
that.
if I want to eat lunch?
Nobody's stopping you.
Yeah, no one has ever said you couldn't have lunch, dude.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Baylor athletic director and college football playoff chairman Mack Rhoades is stepping away from both roles for personal reasons. So when you watch the college football playoff rankings unveiled, you hear and see Mack Rhoades explaining their reasoning to Reese Davis. He is the chair. Last year it was Ward Manuel, right, is the name, if I'm not mistaken, Michigan athletic director. This year it's been Mack Rhoades, the Baylor AD. So you will see a different face talking to Reese Davis, explaining the college football playoff committee's decisions with these rankings for the rest of the season.
Do people watch that show? I just checked the rankings the next day. Like, I don't care about the whole.
I think it's a deal where people watch the very first one. Like, I watched the first one in its entirety. I wanted to get kind of a base level of the committee.
Like,
and
what are they saying is the standard for the evaluation? That makes sense.
And then I think we're in the few weeks now where it's like, okay, the rankings on Tuesday don't matter as much. When
Top
we're
five's still the same. Who cares?
We're going to learn so much on Saturday when Oklahoma plays Bama and Texas plays Georgia and all these things. But CFP Executive Director Rich Clark told ESPN that Rhoades will, quote, step down from his role with the committee at this time for personal reasons. The CFP will try to replace Rhoades and will work on naming a new chair. So that hasn't happened yet. Rhoades himself told ESPN that he initiated the leave from his Baylor role, but declined to explain why. And then Baylor told ESPN that the university received allegations involving Mack Rhoades. They do not involve, according to ESPN, Title IX, student welfare, or NCAA rules, and do not involve the football program, indicating that it is a separate incident from Rhoades' alleged altercation with a football player during a September game. To which I would say that very much sounds like it involves something regarding the football program.
Alleged altercation. Did he have an altercation or not?
This is news to me, but this is not the first CFP committee member to step away this year. They have gone from 13 members to 11 members. So kind of some turbulence there, I guess. But yes, there was a verbal and physical incident allegedly involving a player and an assistant coach at some point.
With Mack Rhoades.
With the athletic director, Matt Rhoades. So he has been at the center of an investigation.
Wait, is it Matt or Mac?
Mac, excuse me. He's been at the center of an investigation into this altercation. Trey Wallace, by the way, we got to get Trey on. He has been all over this of Outkick, reporting the altercation and this news that he's stepping away. So he allegedly went up to a player as the ball was being kicked off to start a game earlier this year, a Baylor football game, while putting his hands on the player, this is from Trey Wallace, and asking him, quote, "What the bleep are you wearing that yellow shirt for?"
What?
Along the sidelines before the game, multiple assistants were around when this incident occurred, as this allegedly occurred in a brief span of time. Multiple witnesses tell Outkick that while Trigg, the name of the player, went to be with his family, an assistant coach was visiting with his family when Mack Rhoades came up from behind and grabbed the assistant's arm and subsequently his shoulder and neck area. According to sources, Rhoades then allegedly proceeded to verbally accost the assistant, which was witnessed by multiple Baylor staff members from the athletic department, along with family members.
How the hell is this just now getting out?
I hadn't seen anything about this.
There's an article from 6 days ago that mentions some of these stories, but not with the detail in which you're describing.
Yeah, still, this incident is September.
Michael Trigg Jr. is the Baylor tight end. involved in this.
He's a senior. He's played there for 2 years.
Yes, and his dad confirmed, this is from Stuart Mandel, a few days ago, Triggs' dad confirmed to The Athletic that Mack Rhoades was involved in a sideline incident with his son, which led to this university investigation, which seems like it has led to him stepping away. So if he's going to step away from his AD role, then by default he has to step away from the committee role because he has to be a sitting athletic director to have that role as CFP chair.
And if you're Baylor, you have to have a zero tolerance policy for any kind of nonsense in the athletic department. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's been a little bit of history there.
Yeah, famously.
So Randall McDaniel, a member of the committee, I know.
They might as well have named him Ronald McDonald.
Why didn't they call him Randy?
Pro Football Hall of
Why
Famer.
didn't they just call him Randy?
Have some respect
Randall McDaniel.
for a Hall of Famer.
Your order is ready, Randall
seven-time
McDaniel.
All-Pro guard in the NFL.
Who'd he play for?
A little respect, the Vikings and the Bucks. But he was part of the committee, and he stepped away.
That name is the name that I think about when the first time that the station had me do Radio Row, and it was just me and Kirby out there in Los Angeles, and I had no idea how to do Radio Row. It's just a bunch of old blue hair Hall of Famers that are selling you Depends and stuff like that. It'll do 5 minutes of Super Bowl talk. That's who I think is sitting down at Radio Row with people.
Old blue hair Hall of Famers. Robert, like Torrey Smith sat down in front of
No,
him.
Torrey Smith I knew.
And Buck was like, I don't know who this is, Kirby. Who are you putting in front of me here?
No, that one I knew. I was like,
Two-time Super Bowl
I
champion.
know that guy. Go get that guy.
What was the guy we made fun of his name? He used to be with the competition committee. Petiti?
Tony Petitti.
No, he's the
Big
commissioner
Ten.
of the Big Ten.
Yeah, he's the
Oh,
Big
good
Ten
for
commissioner.
him. Good old Petiti.
So Randall McDaniel stepped away last
I
month
tried so hard not to laugh.
from the committee for personal reasons. So they went from 13 to 12, now down to 11.
Okay.
And the chair, the face
Yeah.
of the committee, is no longer a part of things. So I'm sure this will go totally smooth for the next few weeks as we figure out who's going to make the college football playoff and what goalposts are moved and who gets preferential treatment and who doesn't.
Now there's a reason to watch the show on Tuesdays.
As there is now turnover happening within the committee itself over the last couple of months.
My biggest takeaway from this, dude, Michael Trigg is a dog. Y'all should go look this guy up.
Stats?
He's getting added to my draft prep. This year, 40 catches, 600 yards. That's good for 15 yards a catch, 6 touchdowns. Dude's a senior, 6'4", 245. I got to look this guy up.
Hey, who's this tight end, by the way, that's from Nashville on Indiana that had a monster game against Penn State? I've never heard of this human being before in my life. And all of a sudden, he's got like 7 catches for 150 yards or something outrageous. Like, I know that Omar, what's Omar's last name? That had the game-winning catch. Omar Cooper. I know that Omar Cooper had like a solid game.
Holden Stays?
No, that's not the name.
Holden Stays was the former Notre Dame tight end that transferred to Tennessee last year and didn't really do anything. Is Holden Stays in Indiana?
Yes. I mean, at least according to this list.
Okay.
It's not him. There's a Nashville kid that had a hell of a game against Penn State, and I was stunned to find out that that this person existed because I don't pay attention to Indiana football, but 2, that he was from Nashville.
Charlie Becker.
Yes, that guy. He was awesome.
You didn't ever call none of his games at
I do not recall.
East Hope, or I never know the high school names.
Charlie Becker went to Father Ryan. So, no, I haven't done a Father Ryan game in a few years.
And the only reason that I picked up on that is because Elijah Surratt is their best receiver. He's been there since Signetti got there, and like they just keep coming up with the Indiana thing continues to be crazy because they literally just find dudes that you've never heard of that are having huge contributions for them. And it's 3-6 Penn State, but still, that was the stub your toe game, and they got away with not stubbing their toe.
Yeah, coming up with that big of a moment to me is in some ways just as impressive as if they had gone up there and just blown out Penn State. Like Penn State still got a bunch of future NFL players.
Oh, no, for sure. Double-digit draft picks, for sure.
100%. So when they're on, they can give you trouble any given game. We saw that with Florida against Georgia, and then they turned around and laid down against Kentucky. But, yeah, Charlie Becker, 7 catches, 118 yards. He led them in receiving in this game. Omar Cooper obviously had some huge moments, but Nowakowski, too. Riley Nowakowski had an incredible sideline catch during that drive. But it was Charlie Becker who led the way. Father Ryan product, I should say. Class of 2025, 3-star prospect coming out, 6'4", 209. So there we go. Nashville representing. But yeah, for some reason, Mack Rhoades took exception with this Baylor tight end, Michael Trigg.
And his yellow shirt.
For wearing this like yellow, gold-ish, long-sleeved undershirt, while the rest of the team was wearing dark-colored undershirts. And he went up to the kid and got into like a heated verbal altercation, and then members of the coaching staff got involved. And man, this is weird.
Old people love getting upset about stuff like that.
Speaking
My
of
grandpa
old people,
used to be mad about stuff like that. Y'all ever get did you buy them jeans with them holes in them?
No, because I didn't buy jeans with holes in them.
Well, I didn't buy my jeans neither. My mama bought them, but hell, what am I supposed to do?
I love the idea of your mother buying you jeans with holes in them.
I just wear whatever somebody else buys for me or gives to me. In Buck's case,
Famously, I give you my your aspirational clothing, which is my fat clothes that I don't wear anymore. Speaking of old people who are upset about things, Rex Road has texted me and said he's not a tight end dummy. He runs a damn 4.4. He's a wide receiver. So,
okay,
that guy, good on that guy.
Well, before we get out of here, can you say that guy's name one more time?
Which guy?
The guy we've been laughing at, Ronald McDonald,
Pro Football Hall of Famer, Vikings and Bucks legend. 7-time All-Pro.
Yes.
Randall McDaniel.
That's not a real human.
One of the best guards to ever play this game. How about some respect?
Randy
The
McDandy.
disrespect in this segment
I
for
bet he's a
Hall
badass.
of Famer. The disrespect for a local product out of Nashville.
I bet that dude is such a badass because every time he has to tell people his name, that he gets laughed at, and he just has to hit somebody in the face. He just has to. Randall McDaniel.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame for names.
We'll do a Heisman Trophy check-in next. Financial independence is critical, and if you have not yet achieved that, or you are working diligently towards that, Trajan Wealth can help you get on the path to success. They are incredibly helpful when it comes to a variety of different subjects, whether it be retirement planning, wealth management strategies, or tactical investments. They are there to serve you. Or if you have a current plan and you would like a second opinion, they will offer you one for free because the holiday season is already upon us. It's still not too late to check this year's financial resolution off your list. Give Trajan Wealth a call today to start achieving those financial goals. You've heard me talk about Trajan Wealth for a while now, and let me tell you, they will make retirement planning simple. No pressure, no confusing jargon, just clear, honest advice from fiduciaries who put your goals first. You will feel more confident, more prepared, and honestly relieved. If you've ever wondered if your plan could be better, get a second opinion from Trajan Wealth. 2 locations in Brentwood and Franklin. The number is 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000 or online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement.
11:02. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans injury report. Edge rusher Arden Key and wide receiver Calvin Ridley returned to practice in a limited capacity. Jeffrey Simmons did not practice with the hamstring injury. Cam Ward met with the media after practice discussing just how beneficial the reset was for him coming off of the bye week.
Well, it was real good. Just a plan to self-scout myself, what I can do to, help the team be better on offense, the way I can do to help myself, just continue to establish drives. So, it was a good break needed.
College basketball, Tennessee handled North Florida 99-66 on Wednesday. J.P. Estrella with a 23-point double-double. And Vanderbilt beat Eastern Kentucky at home 92-62. Tyler Harris led the way, 17 points. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So we have reached the point of the college football season where the Heisman Trophy discussion starts to pick up a lot of steam. Who is having a Heisman moment? Who has had a Heisman moment already? And who is still equipped to put themselves in a position to win the award for the best player in college football this year? There was a lot made. And, Robert, I don't know if you have the Fox touchdown call, the final call of Gus Johnson gasping and wheezing his way through that Fernando Mendoza, Omar Cooper touchdown in Indiana, Penn State, where Gus Johnson basically declares to give Fernando Mendoza the Heisman now, which very much upset Ohio State fans on the internet who were paying attention to that game. And
in trouble! It's out! Touchdown! Omar Cooper! Unbelievable! Give him that!
Well, it cut off as he's gasping and wheezing through "Give him the Heisman now" is what he says at the end of that clip. As a play-by-play person, how would you assess Gus Johnson on that call?
Gus Johnson.
No. Don't preface it by saying nice things about him on the front end. Go ahead.
Yeah, good point. I didn't like it. I'm not a huge fan. It was the same thing he did when when Ohio State intercepted Michigan on the goal line last year in that game, where just loses any ability to speak. Like just not even saying words. I mean, he says Omar Cooper's name there, and it doesn't even sound like he's saying his name. I don't know what he's doing.
Can you play it again and turn it up a little bit? Maybe it's just my headphones, but it felt kind of low to me.
I'm trying to find you the full clip. That's the Fox Sport College cut where it's just like 11 seconds.
Yeah, I want the part where he says, "Give him the Heisman now," because that was the thing that set the Julian Sayin component up in arms.
Here you go.
Mendoza in trouble! It's out! Touchdown! Wow! Omar Cooper! Unbelievable! Did he get his foot down? Control! Oh my goodness! Oh, no way! Oh my goodness! Was the left foot the first one to touch? Oh my goodness, it's a touchdown. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, then why did that guy get so excited after?
It's Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt, right? That is the duo. It didn't really sound like Joel Klatt, but that is his broadcast partner. But like Gus Johnson, like that's already your thing. Like you already go nuts with every touchdown. So I don't know, like taking it to a level of not even being able to what does he say before touchdown? Wow,
I have no idea.
Like, here, let me get it, and I will slow it down, and we can analyze it like CSI.
Yeah, like it's just kind of gibberish, and then touchdown, wow, and then he loses his voice completely. Like I do enjoy the idea of a broadcast, like, broadcasters take themselves way too seriously sometimes. So it's okay to let loose, be in the moment. But
I'm aware.
That is so extreme. It's so extreme.
So it's kind of like Sean McDonough. Like Sean McDonough will just sometimes lose his voice in the middle of a broadcast.
Like a voice crack.
Yeah, and it's, I don't get mad at Sean McDonough in those moments because it's something that would happen to anybody who is trying to elevate their voice above a screaming crowd of, 80, 90, 100,000 plus to meet the moment, and sometimes you just can't get there. And McDonough does have a couple of famous voice cracks on big calls of things, but like Gus Johnson, I saw somebody in the chat say, when Gus Johnson's voice can't even Gus Johnson. And I don't know if that's more a testament to the moment or if Gus just kind of lost himself. Listen, it's easy to be hypercritical, and then if you say you could do a better job than Gus Johnson, again, I go invite you to listen to that Donald Trump clip of him trying to call a 2nd and 7 play. Wow.
but like we also we're talking about Gus Johnson, right? Like how many people after that incredible play?
Nobody's talking about Gus Johnson after that play. They're talking about that play. Like because I didn't hear the Gus Johnson call until you just played it. I was in a restaurant on my phone, like I was watching the game on ESPN on my phone, without the sound, because I had left whatever I was doing. I thought Penn State was going to win. Yeah, like all right, it's whatever, it's over. And then all of a sudden, Indiana's driving. They're inside the 20, and I'm watching this play out. I'm like, oh, my God, they just won the game.
I mean, I drove up from Birmingham Monday morning, and I'm listening to Jocks 94.5, our sister station down there in Birmingham, Mac and Cube in the morning, Greg McElroy, Cole Kubelik, and they were talking about the Gus Johnson call. They talked about the game, yes, but they spent a lot of time on the call, and so are we here. Like, I just feel like you make yourself part of the story, and I don't know. To me, it's just a little extreme.
That play was so above, and it's the best catch in college football this year so far.
Maybe in history.
Oh no, it was insane. It's one of the best catches I've ever seen.
To not get the first foot down and then somehow have the awareness to drag the second foot as you're falling out of bounds on a jump pass.
No, it didn't even make sense.
Like the pass is crazy in and of itself. The catch is outrageous.
No, it's insane.
So no, I was not. I don't think anybody was having much dialogue about Gus Johnson after that play.
Search his name on Twitter and you'll see how much dialogue there is around Gus Johnson.
Wait, before you move on. Do you guys want to or not want to play court stenographer?
No, we can do the Heisman stuff in a minute. We got time.
Okay, let's break this down.
Okay.
That's pretty easy. In trouble.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's tough.
Don't know what that is.
What is he saying there?
All right, I'm going to shrink it down and maybe we can get a piece of it. Hold on. Don't just poo-poo the guy. You just got mad at us for making fun of Randall McDaniel, and now you're denigrating Gus Johnson to, like he's Bill Cosby.
If Gus Johnson was in the room, Lucas would suck on his toes, okay? Like that's Jesus. Oh, please let me be in a broadcast booth like you one day, Gus.
We got in trouble.
Yep.
What's that?
Is he saying it's up?
Maybe saying end zone?
Oh, yeah, end zone. There you go. Okay, end zone.
Yeah.
Touchdown, wow. Okay, we got that.
Oh, see, I didn't get wow.
Yeah, oh, yeah. All right, we're getting there. Only half of it left to go, guys. Omar Cooper with a butt pop.
No, he's not Bill Cosby.
First, you've got to throw the ball, and then you've got to catch the ball. Unbelievable.
I can't unhear it now.
I mean, this is what it sounds like to me. Hold on, wait. We're going to get Omar Cooper one more time. Omar Cooper.
Okay, that is a little Cosby.
Oh, no.
Somebody
he lulled the defense to sleep, much like...
No.
That was whoever made that joke should be fired.
No. We were supposed to talk Heisman here.
Also, acknowledge that Lucas did not deny that he would suck on Gus Johnson's toes.
That would not be my modus operandi in that moment.
Hello, Mr. Johnson. Oh.
Don't ever put your hands around a microphone like that ever again.
No.
Oh.
Somebody said Gus Johnson made the noise that Mario makes when he falls into a chasm.
Sounds like a SpongeBob laugh.
All right, we could do some Heisman Trophy talk next.
Yeah. Oh, next. Like, not
Next.
now. Okay.
Go! Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Was that something that you made or something that already existed on the internet?
I just took that. That's my favorite Gus Johnson call of all time.
Yeah.
Denzel Ward, Ohio State. I believe it's Maryland they're playing. And he just slaps this dude, drops the fumble back, takes it back for a touchdown. You got barbecue back there and you didn't invite me? Hurt my feelings.
That's awesome. That's an awesome
love
call,
Gus
man.
Johnson.
Yes, like that's awesome. I'm with you, man. He's great in those big moments. I have heard so many people railing against Gus Johnson because he gets so excited so often. But I do have a limit, and my limit is what he did in that Indiana game with that touchdown. But that's an awesome call. Hurt my feelings. That's great. Oh, God.
Is that too much excitement in the moment? Too
Perhaps.
Look what it's doing to all the young broadcasters. Just listen to this guy. He had so much promise. Just taking Gus Johnson's lead.
It's infecting everybody.
It is infecting Eric Collins. Remember, that was somebody's dumbest thing in sports. It was probably mine.
It was absolutely yours. You were
Somebody railed all over
trashing
that
this
dude.
poor dude for being even remotely excited during a Panthers-Dolphins game that nobody was gonna be excited for otherwise.
But that game was awesome.
It was a fun game.
Not because of Eric Collins.
I don't think he hurt anything by being excited about it. And other than Mark Schlereth's eardrums. Who, by the way, I swear to God, we're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy odds. Did you see this Schlereth clip that's making rounds of what he does to people on airplanes?
No.
If Mark Schlereth sees you with your shoes off on an airplane,
He'll suck on your toes?
like Lucas with Gus Johnson.
Yes.
God. He'll do what?
We got to
He'll do what? We can just listen to Robert's silent laugh where you can tell us what Mark Schlereth does on
No,
planes.
it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite audio bits is just us being quiet and Robert's far away from the microphone wheezing laugh. Mark Schlereth will pee on the floor of an airplane bathroom if he sees you walking around with your shoes off because he wants you to get his urine on your feet.
Big stink.
Oh. I mean, I do not.
Why'd you say it like that? You said, just don't talk to me. Don't talk.
Robert's done. He's
He
toast.
sounded intrigued.
No.
Oh. Oh, remove me from the equation.
I almost want the football team to be 1-8 every year just so we could do dumb stuff like this for 3 hours a day.
That would hurt. That would hurt my belly.
Who's more in the wrong there? People that are barefoot on airplanes or Mark Schlereth?
No, I think I'm with Schlereth. Like, I'm not going to be the person that pees on the bathroom floor, but keep your shoes on.
I'm not going to be that
Keep
guy.
your shoes on the airplane. Like, that is disgusting. There are few things that bother me more than people's feet. Like, people's feet on an airplane in a condensed space in a flying metallic tube.
Barefoot is
Disgusting.
diabolical.
I don't even care. Socks either. Like, your feet smell.
Yeah, but barefoot is like a million times worse than socks.
But there was...
Imagine if you were wearing socks and got pee on them in the bathroom. Now, that would stink.
Even worse.
Well, no, I think that's what he's saying. Like, he wants you to live with that.
Where
like,
did he
to
say
carry
this?
that.
It was on some podcast?
Some like betting show or something like that. He was doing it. Robert could probably find the audio for me if I buy him enough time. But he was doing some kind of interview, some kind of like weekly NFL preview on a BetMGM like live stream or something like that. It was a phone interview, so you don't see. I don't remember the exact context. But the host was asking him about like some kind of behavior that he found unseemly. Mark Schlereth, and Schlereth is a very opinionated guy. He has been. Was he on ESPN before he's on Fox? I feel like he was an ESPN personality. So many of these ESPN people just disappear after the network moves on from them, and then they pop up on Fox a couple years later. But Robert, do you have it?
I found it. I got to listen to it first.
I don't think there's cussing in it, but it is a live stream, so I'm not certain. It is worth playing the audio if you deem it to be clean. But I don't think there is, like, what trumps worse public behavior than barefoot on an airplane? I can't think of many worse things.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Many more offensive things.
Pretty bad.
I want that O, by the way, that Lucas made when you said big stink isolated. And I would like it to be on the hot board.
Oh, shut up. Just give me a second.
I'm trying. He's not giving me anything. He's scared to talk now because I've talked about him sucking on Gus Johnson's toes and the O face that he made when you said big stink.
I got like 30 seconds left of this clip. Just shut up.
No, if you made it this far, we might as well roll the dice. Like, if it gets out on YouTube, I'm okay with it. We can dump it.
Okay, all right. Here's Mark Schlereth, Big Stink, talking about peeing on airplane floors.
Oh?
Wait, I don't even have the pod on. You guys have had me flustered. Give me 1 second. Okay. Everybody, we'll fix this in post.
30 seconds for this one. Non-football related. Out of all the things happening in your life right now, Stink, what makes you the most annoyed? What pisses you off the most? Non-football, something non-football in your life.
I'm pretty. See, that's where you guys got me wrong. I'm the happiest, luckiest guy you'll ever meet in your entire life. I will say one thing that irritates me is now I'm telling on myself. People that don't know how to travel. Like, nobody wants to see your feet in flip-flops on a plane. Not one person. Nobody wants to see you in a tank top with your armpits hanging out. That drives me insane. Have some couth about you and, dress appropriately. Put on a pair of pants.
Can I ask you this?
Put on some shoes.
Should the people in flip-flops on airplanes, should they be executed?
Well, I don't know about that, but I always pee on the floor to make sure. I've seen people walk in socks in the bathroom. I always pee on the floor to make sure if you walk in socks, you're getting urine on your feet.
Jesus,
the pee on the floor thing is so overshadowed by who is that host?
I have no idea.
Demanding to be. I don't know about that, but
should they be executed?
So extreme.
I didn't even get that far.
Oh my goodness!
Should they be executed? It's incredible.
In that voice, like, I don't know who this broadcaster is. I don't know if he's just a blog boy type deal or if it's actually a professional broadcaster. But the idea that person in that voice is demanding for people to be executed sounds like somebody that would send a person to the gulag.
Oh my goodness!
So should they be executed?
It's a very similar turn to hearing the Colt Seth guy go, "Let's break Rogers' back," like just out of nowhere. Should they be executed?
Can you start it again from that point? Because, him peeing on the bathroom floor gets totally drowned out by the fact that this man just called for people on airplanes in flip-flops to be killed.
Oh, my goodness.
Put on a pair of
Can I ask
pants.
you this?
Put on some shoes.
Should the people in flip-flops on airplanes, should they be executed?
Does not sound like he's kidding at all.
He did. It's a long wind-up, too. Let me ask you something, Stink. Should people who are on airplanes with flip-flops be executed?
The way Mark Schlereth says, I don't know about that.
But I'll pee on the floor.
I don't know about that, but I always pee on the floor.
I don't know about that, but I'll pee on the floor.
What a ridiculous conversation.
Oh,
Anyway.
my God. Anyway, so the Heisman Trophy.
Fernando Mendoza is, by some sports books, your favorite. Julian Sayin, by other sports books, is the leading favorite.
Our sportsbook's peeing on the floor of Diego Pavia's Heisman odds.
Does seem like a two-horse race at this moment in time.
Well, shouldn't it be? I mean, Ty Simpson is fine, and Alabama has rebounded nicely. But the thing about the way that their season started is that Florida State loss looks worse and worse by the week. Now, you can say that week one in any sport you should not have that held against you for the rest of the time. But that Florida State team, after doing something that none of us thought they were going to do, did the thing that we all thought that they were going to do for the rest of the season, which is suck. And Ty Simpson has been fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was fine in that loss. He had a rating of 118.5. He had 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Ty Simpson was far from the biggest issue, and all he's done since that week one loss is just be surgical and not turn the ball over. He has 1 interception, 1 to 21 touchdowns. The numbers for Mendoza and Sayin are remarkably similar. Mendoza just has a little bit of dual threat ability that Julian Sayin does not. But it's a very hard Heisman race to kind of break down because Simpson has more opportunities against better teams. Ohio State, to no fault of their own,
hasn't played anybody.
Yeah, like Texas is not even close to what they were supposed to be. Obviously, that Penn State-Ohio State game lost so much juice where Penn State is still winless in conference play.
The allegations that were fair of last year's Indiana team, it feels like this year's Ohio State.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And again, it's not because they're not scheduling anybody. Like they scheduled Texas, the preseason number 1 team in the country, and Arch Manning couldn't complete a forward pass in that game. Like Julian Sayin barely had to do anything in that game. And their best win, I mean, what were Julian Sayin's numbers? We can pull it up, but I mean, what was the final? Like 14-7 or something like
Texas
that?
Game?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he didn't cover himself in glory in that game. And again, week
didn't need
1.
to.
No, they were fine, and
he was 13 of 20 for 126 yards, 1 touchdown, no turnovers.
Ohio State's defense was the story out of that game because everybody made it about Arch.
They won 14-7.
Like Sayin's role in the Texas-Ohio State game was so dwarfed by all the other dialogue around, oh my God, Arch Manning, oh, Paul Feinbaum, you want to take it back? All these different things. By the way, you think Paul Feinbaum's probably going to leave ESPN?
He's
actually going to
run for office.
Run for
there you go.
Republican governor, I say.
But we get caught up in the Heisman moment, right? We try to find a Heisman moment.
Which is fair.
Sure, and there are plenty of those. But, okay, who has the shiniest Heisman moment of the season?
Well, it's Mendoza.
100%.
It's not even close.
Yeah, 100%. That drive, not just that touchdown, that drive starting inside your own 10 or backed up into inside your own 10. He took a sack on the first play of that drive and still manufactured their way down the field to score the game-winning score.
And the fact that he was the reason that they were trailing in that game, Mendoza, because he threw an interception in that game that was critical. And he gave Penn State life, but then he took it away from them in that moment. So you do the thing when you talk about teams and whether you want to qualify it as a Heisman moment or teams that are on a championship trajectory or at least have championship expectations, and clearly Indiana does, which is a wild thing to say in football. But where we talk about, and this has been, we've talked about this in context of Nashville SC's season, like battle-tested moments that set you up for when you have to tough your way through a couple of ugly wins, but you ultimately get the job done. That's what that was for Fernando Mendoza against a 3-6 Penn State team that rose up on that day in that moment for one game and looked more like the team that they were supposed to be all season long. I feel the same about Auburn against Vanderbilt over the weekend. Like Auburn rose up for 1 week. Maybe they don't do that again all year, but Pavia went out there and put them back down after his defense couldn't get a stop. It was, I would argue that if Mendoza's won, Pavia's too, in terms of the moment.
The moment, yeah, for sure. And it doesn't have to be against an elite opponent. Like, what comes to mind when you think Heisman moment? What is the play that flashes through your mind? Like either of y'all, do you have
all
one?
Time?
Yeah, just what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Oh, Manziel against Alabama.
Yeah, I mean that's an all-timer.
You have nothing?
I'm still thinking about pee on the floor.
I think about Jameis Winston.
You're for sure the person on the plane with your dogs out.
I have Crocs. Why do I need my dogs out? They're always aerated. I never have to take these shoes. I sleep in these shoes.
Yeah, Crocs are fair game. Manziel is a great example. But I think of Jameis Winston, his best Heisman game performance was that 50-plus point performance in a win over Clemson. But the play that I think of with Jameis Winston, I don't know if you remember this, like caught up in the pocket, this crazy spin move to get out of pressure, and then throwing a strike on the run, just an unbelievable play. That was against Maryland. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always have to be against the best team on your schedule. And Pavia rose up in a moment where Vanderbilt needed him to lead the offense to a 45-point performance. Didn't feel like much less than that was going to get the job done. Doesn't matter that it came against Auburn, who already fired their coach. Doesn't matter that Mendoza's came against Penn State, who's already fired their coach. But I do think the body of work holds more weight than the moment itself, and we're seeing that in the odds with Mendoza and Sayin kind of neck and neck. And then there's some drop-off, and you've got Marcel Reed on FanDuel at plus 700. We haven't talked about him. Ty Simpson at plus 800. Then Diego at plus 2,000. Pavia is also the only true, I would say, dual threat of these guys. Some of them have dual threat abilities, like Marcel Reed can run. Ty Simpson's athletic. Mendoza too. But Pavia has the best rushing numbers of any of these guys. But he's pretty far down in a lot of the odds.
Is that deserved? Because, I almost think that Marcel Reed is not getting enough credit here either. It's the best team in the SEC. He's the quarterback of the best team in the SEC. How is he not taking up infinitely more oxygen? I get that Ohio State is the defending champion, and they have a quarterback who's clearly meeting the moment every time he steps out on the field. He hasn't had to do it against higher caliber opponents. That's not his fault. Indiana is it's a rocket ship. For 2 straight years, they have not only the fact that they have never had a 10-win season, and all of a sudden they have 2 back-to-back, and they're the number 2 team in the country. And anybody, to your point about Hugh Freeze getting fired, anybody could have had Fernando Mendoza in a portal this year.
Yep.
Anybody could have had Fernando Mendoza when he transferred from Cal. And Indiana is the program that picked him up. And for some reason, and I never really understood why this was the case. Curt Cignetti didn't want him going to the Manning Passing Academy and stuff like that.
I haven't seen anything.
Anyway. So it's a fascinating story with compelling figures because Cignetti is as quotable a coach as you will find. I would argue anywhere in sports, college or pro. Texas A&M is not that, right? They win, but it's just routine. They just go out there and suffocate a ranked Missouri team and knock Mizzou out of the playoffs. And they're not, there's nothing boisterous or braggadocious about Mike Elko. What are you doing?
Nobody heard that.
Literally, your microphone's on. My microphone's on.
Everybody heard it.
What are you doing?
I just wanted to.
Now you have to drop something.
Now you slam something down.
It's going to be my head on this desk for 2 hours of working with you two.
This does have potential to be one of the closer Heisman races in recent memory. Do you have one that you remember that you just, for the life of you did not know until the moment that Chris Fowler introduced the person from the committee or whatever to announce the name, that you just had no clue? Because I feel like usually we have a pretty, we knew Travis Hunter was going to win the Heisman.
Well, I would almost, I felt like last year was more me trying to find ways to make other players or put other players in the conversation. That this player was so singular in college football, history, that it seemed obvious, just give him the Heisman Trophy. He is the best college football player. Nobody is doing what this player has done. But there were compelling quarterback arguments to be made last year. So I didn't feel like it was a shoo-in the whole way through, even though it probably was.
Gabriel was the only really compelling quarterback case. It was him and Genty.
Yeah.
Next to Travis Hunter. The closest Heisman race in Heisman
Cam
history.
Had the lost, who did
Syracuse.
they lose to?
Syracuse at the end. Crazy game, shootout. Closest race in Heisman Trophy history. Mark Ingram, Toby Gerhart in 2009. Mark Ingram, one of the most great player, had a great NFL career too, and maybe the standards were different in 2009, but you go look at Mark Ingram's numbers, they will not jump off the page at you.
Yeah.
The fact that...
especially given other Alabama Heisman Trophy winning running backs like Derrick Henry, my God.
Dwarfed Mark Ingram's.
Literally and
literally on the field and in stature. Mark Ingram, the year he won the Heisman in 2009 had, let's see, that's pretty good. 1,658 yards.
I thought Manti Te'o should have won the Heisman. At least going into it, because a freshman hadn't won the Heisman at that point.
I was like, Colin Klein.
It was Johnny Manziel.
That was the same year?
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny Manziel beat him. Yeah.
Klein was a finalist. The most lopsided ever was Cam Newton. That was the most.
Somebody brought up singular Heisman moments. Ricky on YouTube says Cam Newton's entire Auburn season.
Yes,
but we looked at how bad the 2015 Titans was. Go look at how bad that Auburn team around him. No NFL talent whatsoever.
None. Wasn't Nick Fairley on that team?
He was.
On offense, around Cam, okay. there is nothing.
His long touchdown run against LSU, where he dragged Patrick Peterson into the end zone, comes to mind. But their best player on offense outside of Cam was Michael Dyer, the 5-star freshman running back. He had the play where it looked like he was down, but no whistle blew, and he was the only one that kept running in that national championship against Oregon. And his career flamed out. He had off-field stuff, transferred a bunch. But yes, that is a guy that has single-handedly dragged his team to a championship and to a Heisman.
615-737-1045 is how you join the conversation if you would like to. Joe is in Bowling Green.
Hey, guys. I'm enjoying the show as usual.
I don't know how. It's been just an outrageously stupid show today, Joe, but I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, you're on drugs, but I understand. Just a little quick comment on the Alabama game, what Alabama was running into that first game. Thomas Castellanos was a Gus Malzahn recruit at UFC as a freshman. Then he went to Boston College, and, of course, Malzahn got hired by Norvell at Florida State. So Florida State's bringing in a quarterback that Malzahn's familiar with, new personnel, new offensive system, and I don't think the Alabama defensive coaches knew what to expect, and obviously they didn't expect it very well. And a quick side note on the Heisman. You guys have got to remember that Bo Jackson barely nipped out Chuck Long, quarterback of Iowa. When I saw that, I was like, this is just a popularity contest. So anyway, enjoy the show, guys. Thanks.
Thank you for the call, Joe.
Love you, Joe.
Crazy to think an Iowa quarterback won the Heisman. What a time. That is the second closest race in Heisman history. Bo
After
Jackson,
Mark Ingram?
yes, beating out Chuck Long. Surprised Peyton isn't really up there, the Peyton Charles Woodson. It's not even in like the top 10 of
Isn't
the
that
closest Heisman rate.
First-gen Travis Hunter conversation, though?
Yeah, it wasn't a conversation. He was easily the better player. I don't know why you would think that Peyton even deserved to be in that conversation.
Why'd you do that to him?
I don't know. I know it just rubs all of them wrong anytime they have to talk about Woodson like that. It was Peyton's.
More of your phone calls, and a renowned NFL quarterback coach is being critical of the way that the Titans are handling Cam Ward. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells. So I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.
Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Meatloaf and Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Where'd you find a Meatloaf cut? Is he still with us or did he die?
Great question.
I feel like I saw that he may have passed.
I love me some Meatloaf, the singer and the food.
I'm pretty sure he passed.
Well, that would be too bad.
He was doing.
Yes.
When did he pass?
2022.
Okay, so
R.I.P.
relatively
Meatloaf.
recent.
74 years old.
One of the biggest non-skip albums, Bat Out of Hell, banger, front to back. I love his theatrical music style. And I love Meatloaf the day after you make it. It's incredible.
Meatloaf is not something you would think that I would like, but I love meatloaf.
Really?
As a food. Love it.
I would. You're correct. I would have never think you would eaten anything out of a loaf except for a piece of artesian bread.
I do like meatloaf too.
Artisan.
Artesian?
Artisan.
I think it's artesian.
Giblet.
We should have a. We should have a. The Randall.
That guy from Bowling Green was right. We are on drugs today. I don't know what's wrong.
We should have the Randall McDaniel meatloaf cook-off. Every one of us bring in a meatloaf and we judge it and see who wins.
You know, we talked about doing like some kind of like cooking situation where the three of us would like, I don't know, either host each other or have each other over for dinner and see who. I mean, it would be Lucas. Lucas is the best cook out of all of us. Although you on a grill, I don't think I'm giving you enough credit. And maybe that's just because you introduced me to grilled pineapple for the first time and I was delighted. But either way.
Before we get back to it, hold on. Life with the Joneses asks an important question in the F&M Bank chat. Ketchup or gravy style meatloaf?
Oh, gravy.
Oh.
I would say ketchup.
It's ketchup. Whoa.
I don't know if I've had like meatloaf with just gravy
It's
on
not
it.
bad.
Now, wait. To me, that's basically like a Salisbury steak.
Right. Well, a little bit different because Salisbury steak are fried, right? In most cases.
No, I mean, Salisbury steak to me is basically like a hamburger.
Yeah, but it's cooked in a pan with
gravy
oil.
on
Like
it.
it's fried. It's not like baked. You don't have a baked Salisbury
I
steak.
can't think of the last time I've had Salisbury steak except
No.
for at a high school cafeteria offering.
Who's got the best one here? I could go for like 3 of them.
Ugh.
I got one for you.
Yeah, you do.
Really?
I'll tell you off the air.
Oh, shut up. Talk about your sports.
All right. Let me take a phone call before we get into this renowned quarterback coach that is criticizing the Titans for their handling of Cam Ward on social media. Chase is in White House next.
Hey, guys. So, you guys were hitting up on the Gus Johnson and his crazy calls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He used to do a lot of CBS NFL calls back in the day when we had Chris Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
There's quite a few good little excerpts from those games. I think the runaway from the cop speed was a good one. I was just going to say you guys could throw that on there, and us Titans fans could reminisce when we were, not awful.
Yeah, there are a ton of Chris Johnson highlights with Gus Johnson on the call.
We still doing runaway from the cop speed?
Probably not.
With black athletes? Probably not. Let's maybe not do that. But I understand. Okay, so Quincy Avery is a longtime quarterbacks coach. Now, when you think of quarterbacks coaches who are talked about that do not work for NFL teams, there's one name that usually comes up. It's Jordan Palmer. A lot of guys, high school, college, professional, have worked with Jordan Palmer in
Titans legend.
Terms of refining the mechanics. That is a good pull. Refining the mechanics and the offseason type of work that he puts these quarterbacks through. And obviously no quarterback is created equal necessarily, but he has a method and a program for all of these quarterbacks, from Josh Allen to Joe Burrow to Bo Nix. Will Levis has apparently spent some time with Jordan Palmer this offseason as well. Remember Brian Callahan talking about that. The other is Quincy Avery. Now, Quincy Avery is someone who I don't think gets as much, who is as covered as Jordan Palmer is, and maybe doesn't have as many high-profile clients as Jordan Palmer does. But he is somebody who is famous for his work with quarterbacks. And there's a video yesterday of Cam Ward. Jim Wyatt put out a video of Cam Ward at Titans practice. And obviously we're coming back from the bye. It's just, him going through a drill where he's doing footwork work in between bags. And it's fine. It's routine. We've seen it a million times. Quincy Avery immediately takes the video and says 8 minutes to work on fundamentals, and this is where you land. Offering it as a criticism, essentially, if not an indictment, of the work that the Titans are doing with Cam Ward during individual period. Now, Quincy Avery knows more about quarterbacks than I would ever pretend to. But what I know more about is the Titans practice schedule, because it's what I've spent almost damn near every day for the last 10 years watching. And there's been a variety of different coaches, and there's been a variety of different methods. But the thing that I know about Mike McCoy is that Mike McCoy intentionally expanded the individual period because he feels that as a team, that their fundamentals require the most amount of work in season and specific to the quarterback. Because what do we talk about with Cam Ward more than anything right now? Turn your microphone on.
I didn't say anything.
There must have been a ghost in that room that wanted to answer for you then.
He doesn't understand that people can hear his loud ass on my microphone when it's on.
Chat, did you hear it? They said no. He wasn't the only one, too. Sean McAvoy, am I saying his name correctly?
Yeah, friend of the show.
Right, listens to the show. He trained Malik Willis, I believe, for a time.
Yeah.
Has worked with a lot of quarterbacks.
Dobbs worked with a handful of quarterbacks.
He also quote tweeted the Jim video and said, really productive NFL QB drill here, being sarcastic. Great use of practice time. Trying to decide if my favorite part is the 3-yard throw at the end of the drill or how the 4 coaches watch the quarterback walk through his finish and not say a thing. Kurt Warner quote tweeted, McAvoy clarified and said his issue is not with the quarterback's form through the drill. His issue is with the prioritization of time. It's the decision to use this specific drill, which serves little value and not address key developmental concerns the quarterback has in the limited time available. Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer, quote tweeted it and said, what I'm trying to figure out is why we have decided a quarterback hopping through bags with no power in his back foot to explode through players, attack a throw, or take off and move is a thing we should practice. I have no idea how this hopping applies in game. Someone fill me in because I see quarterbacks practicing it all over the place.
And he's not wrong. Like, this is not specific to Titans quarterback work. And listen, any criticism of the Titans coaching staff is fair by any of these quarterback-specific coaches, and I defer to them in every instance. My only issue that I took with it is yes, there is time being spent on this drill, but it is not the only time that is being spent and that there are other drills being executed. Now, if we gave Kurt Warner and Sean McAvoy and Quincy Avery the ability to watch a full Titans individual period that included the variety of drills that they put these guys through, they may still have the same criticisms of the kind of drills that they're doing, because any time spent at practice should be to maximize the time spent and the efficiency of what you're trying to accomplish. I understand their larger point. I just didn't think that how long is the clip itself? The clip itself is 13 seconds.
Yeah, I know. That was my big issue with it. It's like, oh, great use of time. Like, dude, you watched a handful of seconds of a practice.
Stu on YouTube says, sounds like these guys, he's talking about the people who are being critical of the drill, just want to be hired by Cam and the Titans. No. I promise you that these are more profitable jobs that they have, especially Kurt Warner, who does not need the money to come in here and be an NFL quality control coach for the Tennessee Titans in 2025. That's not what this is. Curtis says, can y'all have them on the show and ask? I absolutely can. I can. In fact, you already gave me the contact for Kurt Warner a couple of weeks ago because we talked about just having people on to talk about quarterback development at this point since the football games don't matter anymore. So I can absolutely reach out to Kurt Warner this afternoon, and I know Sean McAvoy well, and I don't have a contact for Quincy Avery, but I don't think it would be that hard for me to find one. So we can effort that. Final hour is coming up next. Nate Washington will join us, and we can ask him about this very subject. And speaking of Cam Ward, where can he improve? Where does he need to improve? You will hear from said quarterback coming up next.
It's 12:01. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans injury report: edge rusher Arden Key and wide receiver Calvin Ridley returned to practice in a limited capacity Wednesday. Jeffrey Simmons did not practice with the hamstring. Cam Ward met with the media after practice as he discussed how beneficial the reset was for him during the bye week.
Well, it was real good. Just a plan to self-scout myself, what I can do to, help the team be better on offense, what I can do to help myself, just continue to establish drives. So, it was a good break needed.
College hoops tonight. Tennessee women's basketball hosts Belmont. That is a 6 p.m. tip in Knoxville. And Thursday night football is in the AFC East. The 8-2 Patriots host the 2-7 Jets. Kickoff at 7:15. You can hear the Westwood One call right here on The Zone. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So the Titans will play a game this weekend after having last week off. They will host the Texans, who are shorthanded. If you missed the start of the show, the injury report for the Titans comes with some good and some not so good, specific to who is returning to practice, but more specifically, who has not yet returned to practice. So a couple of players that have been, at least had their windows opened off injured reserve. I don't know if you guys spent any time on Mike Brown, the safety, or Kalel Mullings, the running back. I believe that transaction might have happened over the weekend after the show was over last week. But Arden Key is back at practice. All three of those players have been in a limited capacity. Chig was limited yesterday, worth keeping an eye on, coming off a bye week with a foot issue. Bryce Oliver continues to be a limited participant. This knee injury for him has to have been, catastrophic. He's basically missed the entire season and not been placed on injured reserve, which is a weird scenario. Mike McCoy doesn't answer questions. He does answer questions, but he doesn't give you anything. So I can't expect to learn too much from there. CJ Ravenel, Robert, is a depth defensive lineman. If you were unaware, he has been playing in a lot of these games, especially without Jeffrey Simmons. He was DNP yesterday. Calvin Ridley, though, back from practice. Jeffrey Simmons continues to not practice. We will see if there is a difference in that today. Now, the list for the Texans. Have you looked at the Texans side of the injury report?
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal. No Danico Autry, no Harrison Bryant, no Kaimi Fairbairn, no Jalen Petrie, no Dalton Schultz, no C.J. Stroud. Stroud, Petrie are in the concussion protocol. Titus Howard apparently is not. He is listed with a concussion, but he was a full participant yesterday. You've got guys like Christian Harris, who has played a lot of football for them right now. Braxton Berrios on special teams. There's just a lot. Aziz Al-Sher, Titans legend.
And don't forget, Joe Mixon has been MIA all season.
Yeah.
Well, we know where he is. He's on the non-football injury list, but it's kind of been this weird situation. I don't think there's a ton of clarity on Joe Mixon and this foot injury that has sidelined him all year and what kind of timetable there might be or even how it happened. Do we know how it happened?
No, I have no idea.
So that's been a weird situation.
So Texans injury report is longer. Titans need Jeffrey Simmons back if they're to have any chance against Davis Mills in all likelihood on Sunday, which is a crazy thing to say, that Davis Mills would be this thing that is unstoppable, but you're in a pretty tough spot defensively right now if you're the Titans.
They got to win last week.
The Texans did, yeah. And he was well protected. To Robert's point, the Texans' offensive line is playing appreciably better football. And even if they're just an average unit, that's enough time for Davis Mills to have 26 points in the fourth quarter.
He was 27 of 45 for 292 yards, 3 total touchdowns, 1 interception against Jacksonville.
And I shouldn't say 26 points in the fourth quarter. I should say 20 because that thick 6 at the end of the game was a defensive touchdown that was not Davis Mills led.
He showed some wheels, though, on a 14-yard touchdown run.
He's not totally immobile. Like, that's the thing about... So, I don't want to spend all of this time criticizing Cam Ward's inability to operate certain things when we understand that his circumstance is poor. But I just cannot wrap my head around the idea of a quarterback that is as unwilling to utilize his legs as Cam is, not being an inherent disadvantage in modern day NFL football, where even Davis Mills shows a larger proclivity to run than does Cam Ward. I don't know that that's not fixable or that's not something that will come to him in time. It's just never been a part of his game. So you can't expect it to just happen all of a sudden because he's in the pros. But it's a limitation for him right now, among other limitations that the rest of his team has. You don't have to defend all 11 when you play the Titans in that circumstance. Now, what he can do is he can find ways to continue to improve his consistency, his footwork, and he was asked about self-scouting over the bye and what he was focused on. Sorry, Robert, I didn't give you enough time.
When you did the self-scouting and the self-reflection, what would you say was the biggest thing that you felt is an area for improvement?
For myself, I thought the biggest thing I could improve on was just not missing easy plays. Just being overly focused, even on the little things that I critique myself on. But then just as a whole, offensively, just doing the things that we're good at more throughout the game, more in practice, and then just lead to good offensive play.
Okay, so not terribly descriptive there. And
he does go into more detail on those easy plays, and he brings up that third down incompletion intended for Van Jefferson where he's on the run, doesn't even really get his base or his feet set and just kind of flubs it into the ground when Van's wide open for a third and long conversion.
It's a really bad throw. Now, for him, he's saying focus on the things that they're good at. And I swear to God, I'm not asking this to be gratuitous, but what is a thing that they are good at right now as an offense?
On paper, I mean, there's nothing right now that they're doing at a medium to high level.
I really don't think this offensive line has been awful. I think that some of his issues in holding the ball has made the offensive line seem worse than it actually is. And I know fans don't want to hear that. But I think the pass protection has been fine. Like, Suss and I were talking about this in the locker room yesterday. Dan Moore's been fine. Like, I know he had a rough start to the season. I know they're playing the Broncos and all these different things. But, like, Dan Moore's fine. Dan Moore is Dan Moore.
Yeah, and he's probably your starting left tackle for at least 1 to 2 more seasons.
Got exactly what you paid for in Dan Moore. He is a league average left tackle that hit the open market and cost more than you might like to pay, but whatever. Like, you needed league average something, and he's fine. I think Zeitler has not been great relative to his standard, but he's a 35-year-old guard on a 1-year deal at the end of his career, and I think he's been fine. I think Cushenberry and Skoronski has been more than fine. Latham's been a struggle. But, I mean, if they are getting good enough pass protection and Cam Ward is missing throws that the offense allows him the opportunity to make. Again, the receiver has to catch the pass, which is also an issue here, at least of late. Then I can look at the Titans' offensive line and say it's good enough for them to do more than they're doing. So how much more can Cam Ward do with the opportunities that he's been presented? I don't know the answer to that question. We'll have 8 weeks to figure that out. But I if you wanted to say that they're doing anything at a reasonably league average level, like the metrics on the offensive lineman anywhere that you look are fine. Maybe not average, maybe slightly below.
In the run game, for sure.
Richie says, I don't know, Buck, man, we paid that man like an elite left tackle. No, you didn't. You didn't pay him like an elite left tackle at all. You paid him like a left tackle that was available.
Well, I get what he's saying. Like, you paid him like a top 10 highest paid left tackle, which on paper you did. But yes, there is context there that is important, and that you paid for him out of free agency. It's always going to be an overpay. You didn't draft him, develop him, and retain him the way you're trying to build out this foundation for the franchise. So they did pay him like an elite left tackle. There are elite left tackles making money very similar to Dan Moore, but we also had an understanding about what the expectation was, what kind of player Dan Moore was, and I'm with you. I think he's kind of been what
he's exactly
I don't think he's
what
been
I thought.
Better or worse than what we thought.
He's a left tackle that if he plays with Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and right now Cam Ward, and they hold the ball too long, he's not in a position to hold up for 6 seconds.
I think some of J.C. Latham's struggles since coming back from injury are more concerning than Dan Moore Jr. not being an elite left tackle. I don't think we had that expectation of Dan Moore Jr.
I also don't think that, and God knows I'm not willing to give much benefit of the doubt anymore, but I'm not out on J.C. Latham by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that this year has been disappointing. That when you sign Dan Moore, the whole logic was sign one contract to fix two positions. So you sign a left tackle to, I think it's average left tackle money. Like, just based on some of the contracts that I'm looking right now, he's making considerably less than Rashawn Slater or Christian Darrisaw or Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil's average is, it's about $5 million a year higher than Dan Moore's. And Laramie Tunsil's also older than Dan Moore is. If Dan Moore is asked to hold up in pass protection for 5 seconds, that's not going to work. There was I can't remember which game it was. It was a home game. I want to say Rams. In fact, I think it was Byron Young that was up against Ojukwu. And Ojukwu is being asked to hold up in pass pro for damn near 6 seconds against Byron Young, who's a plus pass rusher, right? I mean, he's not Watt, he's not Myles Garrett, he's not one of these, but he's a better than average pass rusher out of Tennessee on the Rams defense. And Cam Ward's not getting rid of the ball. So all of a sudden, John Ojukwu, the undrafted rookie free agent, who's doing as good of a job as you could ask him to do, is being asked to do even more, and he can't because it's not reasonable. And Cam knows this, right? Like, it's not like a lacking. He's not lacking in self-awareness. He has said many times, probably half of these sacks are on me. 38 sacks are not all on this offensive line. So if you're talking about the stuff that he needs to improve on things that they do well enough, I think that they are operating well enough as an offensive line unit. I think the quarterback has to help them.
38 sacks, by the way, leads the league.
And that's off a bye. Like, who's the next closest?
The Patriots at 35, the Chargers, Cardinals, and Vikings, and the Jets all at 34.
At the early onset, especially when Latham went down in week 1, and they went into that stretch of facing, obviously, the Broncos to open the season, the Rams, the Texans early. Like, they faced some of the best fronts in the NFL. It coincided with their starting right tackle going down. It has evened out, I would say, in the last few weeks from an offensive line pass protection standpoint and pass rushing standpoint, where they've been able to actually get home. A lot of that was Draymond Jones, and he's now a Baltimore Raven.
Who was good on Sunday against the Vikings.
No sacks, though, Robert.
No sacks.
Need those 2 sacks.
4 pressures.
Come on. Need 2 of them.
They were asked about how they're going to deploy him in the future, and they noted, like, we're going to use him a lot more on the inside rather than the outside. He was incredible on the outside. I think he played 38 snaps, basically took all of David Ajabo's snaps and left him with nothing. He was a spark of life for that pass rush.
You know how, was it Travion Henderson was running free against the Bucs and looking to the sideline at Vrabel, like, should I score? Should I not? In the Patriots-Bucs game.
Careful, you might say something nice about Mike Vrabel.
I feel like that's going to be Draymond Jones when he's about to get to the quarterback.
Should I get him?
Can I sack him?
Should I get him?
It's like you can get a half a sack.
All right. So, again, like, obviously, I have a tendency to overpraise Mike Vrabel. I understand that. But, Lucas, it is outrageous that they have a rookie running back in a situation where he's got the presence of mind to look to the sideline and be like, should I score here? Because he's so aware of the game situation. Now, Travion Henderson deserves a ton of credit for that, too.
That was impressive.
But, oh, my God. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Anyway, what can Cam Ward improve? He has to improve his in-game awareness. He is a self-aware person. It has to translate from practice to game. I understand that the speed of the game is infinitely greater than he has experienced at any point in his career facing ACC competition or before that Pac-12. But if they are to be operable as an offense moving forward, Lucas, I would argue that on aggregate, he is a bigger issue in that specific area than the offensive line is. You disagree?
I feel like I'm not smart enough to have a determination on that, on diving into the nuts and bolts of who has been most responsible for every sack given up by the Titans.
But I don't think you have to. You do have smart people who are saying this, but
such as
Greg Cosell. You can look at. Do you know what his time to throw was against the Chargers? It was damn near 3 seconds. Jackson Dart's, no, I think it was 3:15. Jackson Dart's was like 3.68, which is just a suicide mission. I don't know how he's doing out there. And obviously he's in concussion protocol again. But you just have to look at the teams that know they have offensive line limitations and are able to just see it and rip it. And maybe he's not seeing things very well. He would push back on that. I think he thinks he's seeing things fine. But there's also a degree of know your limits. And I think that's a tough ask of somebody like Cam Ward, to know his limitations, where your entire life you have fought against any limitations that you might otherwise have and exceeded them, to his credit. It's why he's here in the first place. But I think they have to find a way to reach him on some of those limitations, because I do think that he is limiting what they're able to do. Not overall, but in some specific areas where they could make more plays. Bryce also adds on YouTube, and I don't have the resource to verify this or where he's getting this from, but Bryce on YouTube says Cam has the 7th best clean pocket time in the NFL. So if you could provide me the outlet that you are getting that from, and I would be able to verify that. Not that I don't trust you, random YouTuber, but I would like to see that, because that would also speak to the kind of thing that we're talking about here. Anyway, Nate Washington, next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. I was out of town last week, so I missed our guy, Nate Washington, though I know he was good to come on here and carry these two dopes. In my absence, Football Was My Father. You can find the new book in the Amazon bookstore, where it is skyrocketing up the charts at NWash85 is where you can follow him. What's up, my guy?
Buck, welcome back, my guy.
It's good to be back. It's tough to leave South Beach for any reason in particular, but I'm happy to be back, and I'm looking forward to getting into this with you, because I'm desperately trying to learn something about this quarterback the rest of the way through, Nate, and I don't know how much opportunity the team around him is going to give us.
Definitely. Aren't we all? I think it's kind of a bit of an unknown situation for a lot of the fans and obviously the media, because of the abrupt change that we've witnessed so early in his young season, especially when you were expecting that head coach that was the quarterback guru to be the one that lead and guide him on to his success now being gone. So it's going to be up in the air. It's going to be a lot of trial and error. I don't know, from staffing point, especially when you look at a staff that fired their offensive coordinator, allowing him to keep his title without his duties anymore. I think you're looking at a situation with a staff that, might be in a limbo about how to lead and direct him towards being better and progressing through the fundamentals of his game to be better throughout the rest of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this. Coming off the bye week, I know a lot of things change a lot of times for teams, coaching staffs, players. A lot of times in that bye week, there's a lot of self-evaluation that goes on, a lot of correction of things that you may have done wrong previously throughout that week. And there's a huge look in the mirror. So hopefully that was done. Hopefully there was some understanding of how he can be better moving forward, not only in his fundamentals of his footwork and his body posture, but his reads and being better with adjusting his protection so he'll have more time. That's obviously been a lingering thing that I've been seeing going on as well when you turn him to film. But, hopefully after this bye week, we see some progression. But it's going to be interesting due to the coaching staff that they have in place.
Yeah, I don't know how much progress they're going to be able to make against the Texans defense. They're the number one scoring defense in football. They're an absolute juggernaut right now. And the last time the Titans played them, they were held scoreless. But on aggregate, I do understand your point. Nate, and I didn't send you this beforehand, so I apologize if I'm putting you on the spot. But just the idea of, and God knows you have to remind me to send you what questions I'm going to ask.
Hey, Lucas was on his job last week, but I just want to put that out there.
Hey, you know what? Lucas also double booked like 3 other people while I was gone. Okay, let's not give him any undue flowers at this point.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll do it again.
I know you will.
I'll double book everybody
because you don't pay attention. Either way, something that I am curious about, and I don't have an answer to this specific to Cam, Nate, but I do understand that athletes of any kind, and really people who consider them to be good at what they do or that have been good and made themselves good to achieve at the highest levels, that there is ego and belief in self in how it is that they got there. And I'm wondering how difficult it is. I know no one player is created equal. Individual personalities require different methods of reaching out or how to reach a player if you're a coach. But I wonder how difficult it would be in a situation if you're Mike McCoy and you understand that you're not likely to be here beyond this season in any kind of a role. And you're trying to get to Cam Ward to help him understand, no, some of these things that you're doing, yes, they have helped you get to this point, but there is some adaptation that is needed there. And I wonder how difficult that dynamic is. I don't know if you could speak to maybe not that specific situation, but just kind of the give and take of what it is to the dynamic, the working dynamic between an athlete who knows that they're good at something, but could also use some additional help in breaking through whatever ceiling they might have.
Well, if I'm honest, there's a large level of collegiate players that come into this league with a collegiate mindset, thinking that they can do the same things that they did in college and be successful in the NFL level, but also with the physical ability that's not really going to translate on the next level because You know, in college, I don't care if you're playing Division I or Division III. You're going to be playing against somebody that's going to be a future doctor, a future pharmacist, a future lawyer, a future whatever they may lead on after their collegiate career, meaning that they're not going to be a professional football player. But obviously on the NFL, everybody's a professional. Everybody has speed. Everybody has strength. Everybody has the ability to make plays. So when you look at it from that aspect, there's a sense of professionalism that must grow, and understanding that while you may have been successful at the collegiate level doing certain things and being able to think a certain way, and even in the limbo with your coaching staff in this situation, I think it's a collective effort, not only from the guys in the locker room, the front office, the coaching staff, but the guys at home too. The people that he has himself surrounded by at home is going to be a vital part of his maturing mentally in this type of situation, you know, because you look at it and the perspective says, you know, well, this coaching staff is going to be out of there. What more can I learn from them? You know, they're not going to be here with me. But in a large way, you know, even you can even learn things from your teammates. You know, sitting in film sessions and understanding their thought process. You know, so you have to be open-minded when dealing with this coaching staff. If you're Cam Ward, and understand that there's still a lot to learn. You know, and you can't go into this thing with a biased thought to say, well, these guys are going to be out. I come from success from Miami, so I pretty much know what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to continue to do what I can do to progress. You can't have that mindset, because on this level, as I stated, there's a certain sense of level of professionalism that comes entwined with progressing, succeeding, and understanding, and it all bases on team. You know, even when your team is not performing well and the coaching staff looks like it's in dismay, you still have to trust that team in order to better your individual effort and progress and grow as a unit, as a team. So he's going to have to stay locked into this coaching staff, you know, and put those things to the side. But as you stated, Buck, it's hard for young guys, especially competitive young guys that want to be successful immediately. It's going to be a hard road for them.
At NWash85 is where you can follow along. He tweets his thoughts on not just the Titans, some Steelers thoughts as well, which is an interesting time, I'm sure, to work your way through. Football Was My Father is the book that you can find in the Amazon bookstore right now.
So on that note, Nate, Calvin Ridley returned to practice yesterday as a limited participant. Sets up for him to potentially come back and help this team, as a bunch of fourth-round rookies right now are kind of driving the passing game from a pass-catching standpoint. What are your expectations of Ridley as he potentially returns into the lineup against Houston, and how could that help Cam Ward and all of the things that you just laid out down the stretch?
Well, I want to say this. You know, I know we have been skeptical of Calvin's game and, you know, the drops and the miscommunication, but I want to be clear. You know, this guy is a good football player. You know, he has talent. It's the reason why he was such a high free agent at the time when we signed him. You know, do I think at this point he's playing at the expectation of his salary? No, but I would think that he would allude to the same. You know, this is an unexpected and not what he thinks of himself. So I want to give him the respect that's due. You know, this guy hasn't been in the league this long for no reason. So hopefully he comes back and is a reliable guy we need him to be. You know, the reason why we paid him the money that we've paid him, the expectation of the big plays and the reliability to lead this young receiver core to progress, be better this week, and also be liable and reliable in this pass game and help Cam succeed. You know, I think, you know, he is obviously the leader on this offense. You know, he has to be more vocal. He has to be more reliable. The drops are going to have to eliminate, and the communication is going to have to be better with him and Cam if he is to play this week. I know, you know, obviously he's put it on film, so he's capable of doing such, but he hasn't thus far. Not only this season, but, you know, previously. And as I stated before, at this salary, there's an expectation that comes with veteran leadership, and that also comes with your play. And he's going to have to come back out there and be the veteran leader that the Titans, this fan base, I myself expect him to be, and play up to the expectation of a man that has a huge salary.
And how can that benefit the likes of Chimere Dike and Alec Iomanner, who have just had to kind of shoulder the burden for multiple games now since Calvin went down? And now coming back, the attention that's going to be devoted to him, On that same thread, talking about how it could benefit Cam Ward in the next few weeks, Nate, how do you see that potentially opening things up for Alec Iomanner and Chimere Dike, who now kind of have their feet under them a little bit with Ridley coming back into the lineup?
I think throughout this season, watching film, you've seen a Cam Ward that's tried to build a relationship with each one of these guys. There's been different games in which each one of these guys has been highlighted to a degree of trying to build a rapport. Early on, before the injury, it was Calvin. I seen, some plays in which Cam would immediately look towards Calvin's way. Then we seen a moment where Alec had begun to grow a rapport with Cam and make some plays for Cam in the Denver game and those type of things. And then now we're seeing Dike, he's doing a good job. So I think each one of those guys have had their moments. But when you're talking about foundational relationship, you would hope that Cam would have that foundational relationship with his veteran receiver, the guy that is getting paid the most with the most expectation, the guy that's played this game, has understood the speed of the game, and has been in the NFL for quite some time. Hopefully with his return, this will give Cam the opportunity to get a little more comfortable and knowing where he can go in his heated moments during those plays, and have some understanding of there will be a play there to be made. That is what you bring in when you bring in a Calvin Ridley in free agency. You're hoping that you're bringing in a guy that understands the reliability that is necessary between the quarterback and the receiver. So hopefully Cam gets that back. Hopefully Cam gets a guy that no matter what's going on, he can look to and make a play for. And that Calvin coming back has to understand that will now be his duty to make sure that Cam is comfortable and understanding that he has a guy to go to at any time.
I mean, the best thing that you could say about a situation that doesn't have a lot of good around it, Nate, is that they're not blaming one another, certainly not publicly. I'm sure that there are honest and upfront conversations among themselves. But, I don't know if you saw that clip from Carson Beck a couple of weeks ago where Miami loses to Louisville, and he's talking about a game-losing interception, the fourth interception that he threw, and he blames the wide receiver for running the wrong route and essentially just kind of has a snide comment off to the side about, yeah, it'd be great if we could run the right play. And there's a lot about Cam right now as he's working through all of these different things, and it would be easy for anybody to be drowning in a situation like this where the footwork is leading to some inaccuracies that I think, it would be easy for the untrained eye to look at a wide receiver and say, well, the receiver didn't do the right thing there. It's not on Cam because people are more inclined to give the grace to the rookie quarterback, even if the rookie quarterback has some clear and obvious flaws that he's essentially going to need an entire offseason to even start to correct there.
Yes. I think in this type of situation, for me, myself, watching film, when you talk about complementary football, you're not only talking about the three phases of football, offense, defense, and special teams, but you're also talking about a full collective unit playing synchronized in one. And when you turn on this film, Cam has a good play, the right tackle has a bad play. The right tackle and Cam has a good play, the receiver has a bust, so it's a different guy every play. And I think Cam has the right mentality when handling these type of situations in the media because he understands, he's not been perfect, but nobody on this offense has been perfect. Nobody on the defense has been perfect. This team has been obviously in the position that they've been in, not just due to one person. And to be the guy that will come out and, throw anybody under the bus or make mention of anybody else's mistakes would be completely naive to their accountability in this situation. And, I think it's kind of, amusing because you look back and I remember when Cam first got drafted and him making comments about Calvin really being top 5 receivers in the league. Sure. And I remember that and I understood why. You want to be the leader that no matter what's going on in your locker room, no matter what the field looks like, the gameplay looks like, your record looks like, you always want to be complimentary to the guys around you because you'll never know when it turns around. Like as I stated, I've been on an 0-6 team that had to find a way to stay together. And once we did stay together and those things turned around for us, it helped us not only with our gameplay, but with our confidence. We felt better about being together and those things, but it took us standing together and sticking together through those hard times. And it's going to be very necessary for this team to do so moving forward.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they can accomplish here in the next 8 weeks, and that's about really all you can be about the situation. And I mean, my God, the defense. There's no players left on the defense. Nate Washington is here with us on 104.5 The Zone.
How was?
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, he talks too much anyway. It's fine. I cut him off for a living. Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, man. This defense started off this season, man, and I was obviously, not thrilled, but at least optimistic about their performance and their ability to finally come in this season with a full, healthy secondary that all had been practicing together, had been together training camp, spring, and I know Snead didn't, really practice that much in training camp and those things, but we had Brownlee around. We had some significant pieces that I was looking forward to gelling together in this year. And you look at it, man, and it's just complete, Elmer's glue out there. Elmer's glue and popsicle sticks. So I'm hoping that they find some type of some way to synchronize themselves and go out and play some better ball. But this whole team in itself obviously is going to need some reconstructing this next offseason. They have the money to do so. So hopefully, they can make it through the rest of this season with a valid effort for this fan base, because I mean, at this point, it just hasn't been acceptable.
You were in Mexico City over the weekend with Ramon Foster, a few other former Steelers. Great crowds out there on hand to watch the Steelers play the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. I know it wasn't a good result for Pittsburgh, but what was that experience like, watching people kind of come together in support of the Steelers and the NFL in Mexico?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I want to say this. I kind of been watching too much Narcos, man. I've been watching too much Narcos, man. It was my first time going to Mexico City. And I'm 42 years old. And when I called my mom to tell her about it, she was like, worried. I'm like, Mom, it's going to be all right. Everything is cool. But when I tell you, from the moment we stepped off the plane, it was so much love. The city in itself, we had NFL security meet us right on the other side of the customs. But, man, I don't even think we would have needed them. It was so great, the experience. We had an opportunity to go to a nearby restaurant the first night we were in town and have a dinner with some of the execs from the Pittsburgh Steelers that are working down there in the NFL security. And, oh, man, the experience was great, man. A little music, samba hats, it was a great experience, man, all together. A lot of tacos, a lot of great food. We were able to go to a nearby barbecue restaurant place that had all the games on Sunday. So we went there early Sunday before going to our event Sunday evening. And the flourish of Niner fans that came in there was incredible, man. They came in by the droves. I'm talking about the whole place was packed. They were fired up for the afternoon, the 3:00 games at the time. So it was a great experience, man. Everywhere we went, people were taking pictures with us. They were giving us gifts unexpectedly, from pictures to things they may have made by hand. It was such a great experience, and I'm hoping that next time the Steelers go down for a watch party, I have the opportunity to go back, because I definitely would love to go back and feel that experience again.
Narcos, great TV. Just great TV. Every season of Narcos is must watch. Nate Washington, must watch, must listen, and certainly must read in the Amazon bookstore at NWash85 is where you can follow him. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Hey, love
Thanks,
you, Nate.
guys. I'll see you next week, man.
Take me to Mexico with you. He just laughs at me now. He will say I love you back.
He's just like the rest of us that have spent more time with you. We just laugh and hope you stop at some point.
He loves you, buddy.
I know he does.
I don't think that's true.
No, Nate's
just wait till Ravens Steelers week.
Look at the look at the YouTube. Look at the YouTube of him laughing at me as he exits the Zoom.
Yeah, that's a big old laugh. That's a belly laugh. That's a belly laugh.
That's a good freeze frame right there. That's
good. Nate Washington. All right, last call for phone calls if you got them. 615-737-1045. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Well, welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. If you missed any of the show, it was a doozy today. I don't know if what we did was good, but we did it. If you want to find out what we did, you can go check out the podcast if you're so inclined. Hell, you could even rewatch the show on YouTube, on Zone TV, where you can find all of the Zone TV offerings, whether it be the 4 live daily shows or Football and Other F Words. What else is on Zone TV? The Install is on Zone TV now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's up.
Okay.
I titled the hour 2 of the podcast, Randall McDaniel and the Mark Schlereth Please on Planes.
I've been meaning to bring that up with you. Who's been titling the podcasts until recently?
Well, until recently it was me. And before that it was Extraneous Parties.
Okay, well, extraneous parties need to actually pay attention to what's on the podcast versus what they're titling the podcast.
Maybe we should do what's on the grid because that's how they were titling the podcast.
If I did what was on the grid, this would be an infinitely worse show. It's not a good show to begin with, but it would be infinitely worse than it already is.
Oh.
What was that?
That was my O of disgust when you brought up the Mark Schlereth thing.
Disgust?
That is disgusting.
That's intrigue.
No. All right, everybody lay out. I want to hear it. I want to hear it with no sound around it. This is Lucas Panzica's reaction to the name Big Stink.
It's disgust. Oh.
No, that's sexual.
No, that's
disgust. No, it's not.
Let me see those toes, Gus Johnson.
No. Oh.
That O is... If it was discussed, like, okay, let's all be, it's Juilliard. We're up in front of everybody. We just come in when the red lights are on. No one cares. And disgust would be,
hold on. Unbiased opinion. Joseph Bonanno. Listen to this sound. Is this a sound more of disgust or of intrigue?
He didn't listen to a word you said.
Okay. All right. That's good stuff. Oh. Okay, that's fine.
What, he can't hear
Wasted exercise.
How is it possible for him to provide less use than he already does?
Hey, we have Titans tickets to give away. 615-737-1045.
Oh, for God's sakes, really?
Yeah.
All right, if you want them, go ahead.
Yep.
Caller 5.
Give us a call. Actually, caller
have
number
we
1.
done Titans ticket giveaways at any point this season? I completely just...
Yeah, we've done them before.
Okay.
Just, it's only home games that we get tickets.
If you want tickets to this game, they are yours. That would be the reaction if you offered me Titans tickets.
Hey, I don't know.
So you do admit it's of disgust. Thank you. Appreciate that validation. Go ahead, Robert.
No, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say if Lucas asked me to go to Arnold's after work today.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
that's from your loins.
Yeah.
That's coming from your that's coming from somewhere deep down and lustful at this point in time. Why don't we do some polls and let somebody have some Titans Texans tickets if they so choose? Fire away.
Oh. 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 Oh.
You can't convince me that that's not sexual.
It was a sound of disgust presented by Two Rivers Ford. Who's your Heisman favorite? Eugene says Haynes King, just trolling at this point.
What is it? What is his odds?
Yeah, I didn't see him anywhere on there.
I still have them up. Oh, you got to scroll past Jeremiah Smith, Gunnar Stockton. He is plus 10,000 right now on FanDuel, Haynes King.
Mr. Donkey says Fernando Mendoza, and that's it. That's all the replies. You are getting no engagement on these. Where do you want to see Cam Ward
college football
improve the most down the stretch? Alicia says not taking sacks that are way negative yards and getting rid of the ball faster.
Way negative yards.
That's how she put it.
Okay.
Brian says footwork and turnovers is what he wants to see improve. Jersey says getting rid of the ball faster. Measy says hitting checkdowns.
Okay. Yeah, consistency would be great. I know it's boring. I know it could mean a number of different things, but they need work on a number of different things. And if you can iron out one thing and it slowly improves and makes for incremental improvement over time, that's just what you're looking for.
How early is too early to put up Christmas decorations? Pre-Thanksgiving or it's never too early? 68.7% are correct in saying it is pre-Thanksgiving. It is too early to put up your Christmas tree before Thanksgiving.
I don't know if you weren't here on Monday, but I was enraged on November the 9th or whatever day I flew home from Miami that all that was playing in the Miami airport was Christmas music. It made me want to take a drill bit.
It's ridiculous.
Drill bit to my temple.
Unbelievable.
I'm not anti-Christmas music either. It just made me hate it.
No, it's not about taking love away from Christmas. For me, it's about the love that Thanksgiving doesn't get. Thanksgiving is an amazing holiday.
I know.
An amazing holiday. And it just gets overshadowed and trampled by people wanting to put up Christmas lights in November. It is November 13th. We shouldn't even be thinking about Christmas. Unless you want to get ahead on your Christmas shopping. Okay, fair enough. But come on.
Learn how to pronounce giblets, and then you can declare Thanksgiving the greatest of the holidays.
It should be giblets.
Those the polls?
Yeah.
I honestly, it would be as productive to just have a conversation with that one sound for 3 hours.
Lucas, were you aware that the Titans were number 1 in the NFL with giving up sacks? Same thing. I couldn't believe it.
That is it's a sound of disgust. You are proving my point.
You can be disgusted by something and attracted to it. Example, Cheyenne.
Yeah, that's
fair enough.
Yeah,
you got me on that one.
You couldn't possibly have found a better example.
She is disgusted and clearly attracted.
We even get to sleep in the same bed some nights.
See you tonight.
What's tonight? Show's over. That means lunchtime. That means Hattie B's at any one of their 7 Middle Tennessee locations. The factory at Franklin, Lower Broadway, Melrose, Midtown, Nashville West, and the Nashville Airport, even now at Nissan Stadium. That's right, in Section 121 and 339. You can enjoy your Hattie B's while you watch the Titans take on the Texans this Sunday. If you're not going to the game, there's no better way to fuel your tailgate or watch party than with Hattie B's. Head to HattieB.com, pick up a bucket of wings, a quart of their incredible sides, the pimento mac and cheese, my personal favorite. Download the Hattie B's app today. By the way, Thanksgiving is getting hot with Hattie B's. If you don't want to deal with all the cooking and the cleaning, they can cater your Thanksgiving and spicy it up for any size gathering. We're talking about whole fried turkey, sliced turkey breast, whipped potatoes, giblet gravy with cranberry sauce, Bishop's carrot souffle. Are you proud of me, Robert? Desserts and so much more. Hattie B's Thanksgiving. Not disgusting at all. Quite the opposite, but it's limited. Supplies won't last forever. Head to HattieB.com.